stuff here of
Yeah.
doing your lesson. Um, as you know, you are, I think, ready to begin or perhaps just have started activity 5. Is that correct?
They're completing it. We're just,
Yeah, we just did the first part of
The first part.
activity
Okay.
5. Yeah.
All right. Okay. And the second part then of activity 5 involves having you find a song and make an arrangement, a contest arrangement of it. And that is submitted to Education Department at International as your final assignment. It will be evaluated and gotten back to you, although that usually takes some time to, we get the evaluation, but then the results go to the EDC, and which I'll talk about that in just a little bit. So the thing that we need to think about right now for you, or you need to think about, is choosing that song, picking the song. Judy and Jean will not give you much, if any, help on any of this, picking the song or doing the arrangement. This should be your own work that is submitted. We are not expecting perfection, but we would love to see what you have learned and where your skills are at the end of this journey that you have had with as Tertiary Leap, which is, and by the way, I love that name. I think that's the greatest. We have a fourth group that is going now, and they chose, their name is Fabulous Four. Fab Four. Everybody has so far has worked in 1, 2, 3, or 4, something that would indicate. Well, I guess World Accord was not. They didn't have a number in theirs, but still, it's fun to see what everyone has come up with. Anyway, so that song will need to come with the original sheet music that will be sent to International. And once you have absolutely completed everything with Jean and Judy, then you will have 3 months after that time in order to submit that final assignment. We'll give you plenty of time to work on it. You can be working on it now, of course, if you want to, and maybe you already have been, but you we'll give you 3 months. So let's say you finish up with the rest of the activities and so forth. Let's say at February 1st. Let's just take that as a possible date. Then you would have March, April, May. You would have until in May. And we might give you a little extra time considering that the spring is our competition season. So we might even give you a little extra time before that would actually be due. That will be determined by when you actually finish. And Jean and Judy will let me know about that. So that will be the end of this part of the arranging journey. Then if you are still interested and there's more to be learned and more to do, if you are interested in down the road at some point in time becoming a certified music arranger, then there are 2 things that are still available to you. One we call the Arranger Enrichment Program, which will be something like what you worked on with the Bridge Project. We took, if you remember, I think all of you probably had experience in working with that Bridge Project, and that it was put together with songs that were in the folio that originally was available that was called Meet Me in the Lobby. We took all the public domain songs out of that, found the sheet music for them, and that's what was available for you in the Bridge Project. For the Arranger Enrichment project, we have done something very similar, except we use the 5 competition folios. Folios are not sold by International anymore for the reasons of copyright. It's the decision of the copyright owners that they should not be sold in books of multiple songs or whatever. So the songs are, most of them are available individually on the International website. And again, we chose the ones that were in public domain and have put together and found the sheet music and have put together a similar type of project. You've probably figured out already that the more experience you have in arranging, the better your arranging skills become. It just takes a long time. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes practice. It takes and I'm sure Jean and Judy have had the same experience I did, doing lots of things wrong in the process of learning to be an arranger. And that you learn from your mistakes and you correct them and you go on. And so this is just another way for you to get some arranging experience. And I'll get, once your final assignments have been turned in, then sorry, my cat is sitting on my lap. I got the cat here. She likes to help. Then I will get more information to you about that enrichment project. You don't need to worry about that right now. The other thing that is available for you down the road at any time in the future is that you can apply for a scholarship, and that would be a $1,500 stipend if you qualify and if it is granted. That would be available for you to use to hire a mentor individually. You would be assigned to a mentor, and the money would be used probably it can be used for many things, travel, materials, that sort of thing, but most of it typically goes to the mentor for an hourly fee for her time then to work with you one-on-one. We did have somebody on a scholarship a few years ago who used part of her money to buy a music arranging program. She was a college student and was using the college version, or the college license, I guess you'd say, for, I believe it was Sibelius. And then when she graduated, she didn't have access to that anymore. So she used part of her funds to purchase the program. And so things like that can be done. Used to be we use them for travel to get together with your mentor, but anymore the mentors and mentees seem to work on Zoom, that sort of thing. So, but anyway, that scholarship money is available. In order to qualify for that, you submit 3 arrangements: a competition uptune, a competition ballad, and a free choice, all of them in the barbershop style. And that would be due with the sheet music for each song. That's due to International by August 1st of any year. Could be August 1st of 2029, whatever. Once you've completed the intermediate level, then in any coming, no, sorry, my phone, I'll let it go to voicemail. In any subsequent year, you can apply whenever you feel like your skills are at the point where you're ready for that and you're ready for the time commitment. A scholarship requires a lot of time. You have to make a commitment of time for sure when we are using International's money. So it's a 1-year scholarship. You can apply again at the end of the first year and for a second year of scholarship. And then at the end of the second year, you can submit another 3 songs and apply to become a CMA. So it's a lengthy process even yet with what is to come. But that's where we are. And so right now, I just wanted to explain kind of what's upcoming, and what's out there and what's available for you. Do you have any questions for me that I could answer for you?
Kate, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Did I correctly understand that the scholarship application is for 1 year, and then after that year, you can apply for, if you're progressing along well enough, you can make a second application, but you have to submit 3 more arrangements for that second year.
Yes, that's correct. You have to submit 3. It isn't a requirement for the second year. It's a requirement at the completion of the first year. So you submit some to, once you're granted the scholarship, then at the end of the first year, you have 3 more arrangements due. Mm-hmm. And then based on that, that's part of your application for the second year, but technically it's the end of the first year.
Okay.
Okay. Other questions?
No, but I'm glad you've got the enrichment program, because that sounds like like a bridging thing. If you can't take on the other full commitment, that's
right.
I would like that.
Right, exactly. And we'll work out the details as to how that's handled, managed, who works with whom, and that sort of thing. That will all be worked out after I have your final assignments, and then I'll get back to you on all of that.
I do have another
Go-
question, please, Kay.
Sure, go ahead.
As you talked about a time commitment that's involved in the scholarship program, would you say that the time commitment for the scholarship program is a greater commitment than the commitment we're currently making, being in the intermediate course?
Yes, in that we're talking about you're spending international's money.
Okay.
You're
Okay,
not spending international's money here.
okay, but I think what I'm asking though, do you think it would be a greater time commitment?
Yes, I do. I
Yeah.
do. Jean and Judy, would you agree with that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've spent a lot of time. This gang is something else. They spend hours and hours doing stuff. And
Okay.
I think, it might depend on how quickly you can arrange a song, might be part of it, because I know this has been a big commitment doing this. And we had something due every month, and they've been very good about doing that. And so I would say it would be just as much as this time
Okay.
commitment. And,
Yeah.
depending on how fast you do an arrangement.
Okay, that's a good point. And again, I don't know how much time individually each of you have spent here, so it's hard to make a comparison. But I do know that when I had a scholarship many years ago, I went on leave from my chorus for 2 years so that I was working full time, but I went on leave from my chorus so that I had time to dedicate to learning to arrange and making good use of that scholarship money. So it's a commitment that you agree to do that when you accept the scholarship. That's, you have to
Well,
think.
I got my scholarship, and then I met my husband, and who wanted to take me on a cruise. And I said, well, let's understand, I have a scholarship here. So we bought a suitcase that would put in a little keyboard. So I put the keyboard on the cruise, if that tells you anything about the commitment.
There you go. That makes a difference too. Absolutely. Yep.
I have a question, please.
Of course.
You mentioned that the scholarship goes towards paying the mentor. Would there typically be more money that you were expected to pay yourself? Is there a ballpark of, does it depend on the mentor and what
You and the mentor will agree on an hourly wage. It's basically the way it works. And she keeps track of her time and then submits it to you. And then you submit an expense form to International. It's not, they don't just hand you $1,500 money. It's like it's in the bank at International. And then you submit an expense form and either something for you, for example, the lady that used part of hers to buy the excuse me, to buy the music writing program, she turned in an expense form and the money was sent to her directly. But that was a legitimate expense. For the mentor's hourly wage, then that is sent directly to the mentor from International.
could we expect that that scholarship would cover that, or shall we expect to have to budget to pay more than that if that's what it goes?
I don't think so.
I don't think it anymore because we aren't involved with buying a plane ticket or staying in a hotel or anything. When it's done by Zoom, it's pretty, I think you can expect that the $1,500 is probably going to cover, at least for your mentor. And that doesn't, like if you needed a music writing program or something else, some other materials, that's a different story. But yeah, I think you easily will.
Yeah, they used to have, it used to be like people like Jean had a mentor that they went in a weekend and they got a hotel and spent the whole weekend. Well, I think you and I, Kay was my mentor, and I think we were the first ones that, of course, International didn't know where South Dakota was, where Iowa, but they thought it was close, which was about 16 hours away. And I guess first they gave me to somebody in Ohio, which is, yeah.
Way far.
Right. But so Kay and I did ours entirely on Zoom. And
well, I think it was Skype back then. We don't think we had Zoom, did we?
Skype, but I mean, the $1,500, was more than, I didn't even use even a part of my scholarship.
Right.
And
right.
we met fairly often, but that's for you to figure out. But I would say, I mean, that with almost 100% certainty, you should not have any out of pocket cost when you have that to do, as long as it covers. I didn't even know it covered that. I would have gotten a new music writing program.
Well, I don't know that ever came up.
No,
This
I
came
don't
up
know.
because someone else asked about it,
I think
it's
a
like,
good- I think
oh,
it's-
okay.
yeah, why not? Yeah,
Yeah, why not? That's material that you need for arranging.
absolutely. Right.
And when you're calculating your hours of what you're going to pay your mentor, keep in mind your mentor spends hours, I'm not saying gobs, but spends hours looking at your work before she meets with you on Zoom. So, that would be part of it.
Right. So that's part of the hourly wage, is for her time to go over your music and
Right.
make suggestions and corrections and send it back to you. Some of it can be done on email as well. I did I had two different mentors when I had mine. And the first one, my mentor was Avis Fellows, and we did most everything on email. I did go, I think, once or maybe twice, once, I think, she's passed away now, but she lived in Minneapolis, and I could drive there. It's about 4 hours. And so I did spend a weekend up there and worked with her once. Otherwise, we did a lot of it by email. We didn't really do Skype. And then my second year, I had Jarmela Speta, and she is not technical. So I made a point of spending 2 different weekends with her, going into Chicago and spending 2 different weekends. And that pretty well used up my scholarship to do that. But we did, and we also did some by email and by phone. You can also, we could do it by phone as well. So now with Zoom, it's a totally different situation.
I'm sure any of us that would be your mentor would be happy to pay part of the cost to go to New Zealand or Fiji or wherever you are.
Right. Absolutely. All right. What other questions do you have?
I have another, please.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, okay. In choosing a good pairing for mentor student, how is that process done? Is that arbitrary, or do you choose somebody that you that's physically close by, or do you look at the person's work and say, well, this person needs work in this area, and therefore this particular mentor would be really good for this person? I just would like to know, some things like that.
Kind of all of the above. If it's a situation where it's somebody next door, or in a close by area, then that's a factor. But definitely a factor is what we see once we evaluate the 3 songs. We look at what were the consistent stylistic things that needed attention, or the consistent errors that are being made, which is not, that's not a bad thing. That's just, we just look at the consistency of things, specific things, and think about somebody that would fit that particular skill set. We have 2 people on scholarship right now. And I should have mentioned this before, we have a total of 5 scholarships available each year. And right now we have 2 people on scholarship in their first year. And assuming that they get their second year of scholarship, which their music is due, I think, March 1st, we'll take a look at that. But then there would be 3 more available for 2023, 2020 to 2024. It's based on the fiscal year. Now I lost my train of thought. And so we looked at the skills that those people had, and one of them was very technical with her approach, and she needed to be paired with someone who had more of a creative approach to arranging. And the other one had the creative approach, but needed to be, quote, reined in, so to speak. And so we put her with someone who had the technical skills. So we look at the needs of the particular person who has the scholarship and try to pair with someone who will meet that skill set and help that skill set develop, as well as, is the person willing and able, and does she have the time to be the mentor? That's the other thing. There aren't very many of us certified arrangers. I believe we have five now with Joey, five master arrangers and maybe 20 some certified arrangers, but not all of them are active right now. So we're very particular about how we assign them. There is a particular format, so to speak, but we try to get you matched up with a person that will give you the best development and the best use of the scholarship money so that your time and effort will pay off. We need more arrangers. That's why you're in this program.
I have another question, please.
Of course.
For the pieces submitted for the scholarship ahead of time, are those expected to be ones that you didn't have help with or recently done, or that can they be ones that you've worked on with other people or that you've done in the past a couple years ago?
They should be your own work. Now you could have done them a few years ago and then gotten them out and revised them based on what you've learned, for example. You certainly can do that, but basically they should be your own work and not have had help from another arranger other than very, very minimal type situation. But we're looking at your work. We don't want to give a scholarship to your mentor or to some other certified arranger. She's already been there, done that. So we want to know your skill level so that we can help you the best way we can. What else? I should point out too, it is not required that you apply for a scholarship. You have that option. That's open to you, like I said, by August 1st of any year, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2050, whatever. You have that option available, but it is not a requirement at all. You need to make that decision yourself.
So if you apply for the scholarship, you have to submit 3 arrangements, and then at the end of the first year, you have to submit 3 more arrangements.
Correct.
And then if you go the second year, is it 3 more?
3 more at the end of the second year, plus an additional 3 more that you would submit once you've finished your second year of scholarship. Then and have turned in those 3. Then you have to submit 3 more if you're applying for CMA.
Does that happen at the end of, say, like at the end of your second year, when you had to have 3 arrangements to finish that, and then 3 more to apply
That's correct.
for CMA?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. It's a total of, by the time you're done with the scholarship program, you have submitted 12 arrangements. And now let's say you finish your second year of scholarship, which you would on April 30th of whatever the given year is. Let's say it's 2025. And in 2025, you don't have to apply for CMA right then. You can apply in 2026 or 2027 or, whatever. That you can submit those last 3 arrangements at any time.
May I ask another question, please?
Of course. I'd be disappointed if you didn't.
And this is in regard to our arrangement submission following our last class with Jean and Judy.
Okay.
Okay, where we're submitting to see if we pass the course.
Correct. No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that you're submitting it to say you passed the course. You passed the course by finishing your assignments. But you have to, this completes your program. So it isn't a pass fail. Once you have finished with this and turned in your final assignment, you will be, we will submit it to EDC. They have to sign off on it, but you will be designated as an approved arranger. You'll get an approved arranger pin and you will get a certificate.
Okay, so I'm a little confused now then, because
I
thought that our classes with Jean and Judy ended with this last assignment, Call Me Back, Pal of Mine. And then after that, we need to choose our own song, make an arrangement, and submit that to some other people who have not instructed us before to evaluate our work.
Well, you submit it to the CMA committee, to my ACP committee.
Okay,
comes to my committee. You'll send it to international. You'll be sending it to give you the email address. You'll send it to education at Sweet Adeline's website, or sweetadelines.com. And that will give you all that information once we determine a date. And then Sweet Adelines will put everybody's assignments into a folder on the share file where my committee then will access it for the evaluations.
okay. Specifically, my question about that particular arrangement, though, Kay, is this.
Okay.
Probably maybe a year and a half ago, I began an arrangement, and I was working in a I was taking like a little seminar through BHS, and I
Okay.
selected a song, and I did kind of a little bit of harmonization, like I think it was on the chorus, and I submitted it, and it went through one pass and came back to me with a few suggestions. I would really like to pick up that song again and complete it, but I have had a little help with it, just a tiny bit of help, because it was just with the harmonization process. Am I not to use that piece, or did I hear you say that we could have received a slight bit of help long ago or whatever?
Well, that was in regard to this, when you're applying for the scholarship. As far as the final assignment is concerned, considering that you said the help came from BHS and it didn't come from anyone in Sweet Adelines, I would say you can go ahead and submit it with your own corrections and making a Sweet Adeline arrangement out of it. There are differences between BHS, how they do things and how we do things. And, you know, we want Sweet Adeline competition worthy arrangements. Is it a song that would be a competition song?
I don't, do you mean, is it a song that I would arrange for competition?
Yes. Yes, because that's what the final assignment should be.
Well, that's what I thought the goal was.
Right.
It was a beginning arrangement that I started. It was for men, actually.
Okay, start over and do an arrangement for women and you'll be okay.
Okay.
We don't want an we don't have any men in Sweet Adeline, sorry.
Right. No. I would love to pick it up and change it for women. And
I think that would be a good experience for you, actually.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions here? Jean and Judy, is there anything else I need to say? There's Judy's hand, or Jean's hand, sorry. Go
Well,
ahead.
I have a question. So, if they're not, okay, so with our Act One group, their final assignment where they picked their own song and stuff, and they did, you know, they were told if they're going to use that song as one of their songs to apply for the scholarship, that they could do that if they haven't had any help. So if they're not doing that part about applying for a scholarship, are they allowed to? I'm picking this song for my final arrangement. Do you think it's a good enough song? Can they ask us that, or we're not even allowed to comment on that for them?
Well, you mean, is it a good enough song when you're looking at the song itself?
Yes.
How much feedback would you think you would be giving them?
Well, if somebody would ask me that, I would say, well, I can't see, you know, it doesn't have enough barbershop chords in it, or it doesn't, you know, I would say, well, this might be a good one to try, or I would say, keep looking, you know, that's mostly what
I think that kind of minimal, that wouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
That's for sure. Now, in regard to something you just said, this final assignment cannot be used for a scholarship song. We have changed that since Act One.
Oh, we've changed it since then. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know.
We want all final assignments for it turned in for final assignments, and then 3 more songs for the scholarship. So that part has changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
You have to know we're pretty new. ACP's only been going since 2019. And so we are learning as we go and tweaking things as we go.
Yeah. good idea. Yeah.
Right. Right.
So the good news is, if you have any other questions that you didn't think about asking Kay, you can always email her or email one of us,
Absolutely.
and we'll find the answer for you. So that's always
Absolutely.
good. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, because I don't want to take any more time than I have to. You have lessons to go over. So,
No, we do.
yes. Have you, let me just ask you guys one question. Have you enjoyed this working
Yes.
with Judy and Jean?
Very much.
Good.
They've been wonderful.
Good.
Yeah.
Thumbs
I'm
up.
so glad.
And
This
it's been
was
fun.
this
It's been fun to work with them because they pick it up just
Absolutely.
like that.
good. Yeah, that's great. This was the brainchild of originally of the international board, who wanted something like the director's certification that was, or well, that's what it evolved into, but something that was available to all regions. And because in the past, if there was a certified arranger in the region, there probably was a good regional education program for arranging. If there wasn't an arranger in that region, they may not have gotten anything. So this way it's available to all regions. And Tertiary Leap is a good example of that, with 3 different countries involved here, 3 different continents for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. If you do have any other questions, either email me directly or get with Judy and Jean, and they'll get the question to me as well. So,
Yes.
okay.
Thank you, Kay.
Happy arranging. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thanks, Kay.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all of you.
That's great.
All right. Yeah. Oh, that's good to know. I'm glad I asked that, since that's been changed since the last time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was a kind of a questionable thing. So.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So anyway, so you guys did a great job on this assignment, and it is very difficult. Among other things, as Jean and I were looking at them and comparing, there were a lot more challenges with the verse. You seem to have all kind of gotten into that chorus, and we got, good chord selection, good voice leading, good, smooth flow. But it seems like the verse seemed to stymie some, and everybody seemed to struggle with that. There's some that was like a brilliant chorus, and the verse is like, okay. So, but we're going to ask you about that, as Gina always says. What were they thinking?
Yeah.
And
Not
She's always-
in a mean way, but it's like, I'd love to be
No.
inside your brain to
She's just
see
like
your
going,
thought
I wonder
process.
what she was thinking
made
when
you
she came
come
up with that.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing a lot of that sort of thing here. But we wanted to start off with the first thing I should say is discussing Abby's list. There seemed to be some questions from people that they weren't exactly sure what all those things meant, but which was brilliant of you, Abby, to do that for everybody. And then I sent more things out, which caused more questions like what? And so just when you think that you've made it perfectly clear, it may not be. So we're going to talk about those, and then we're going to talk about selecting the key, because we were all over the place, as I think you got everybody's, with what keys and what there's some parameters with keys too. And this is not in the book, but we're going to talk a little bit about what's the best thing for the person who's going to receive the arrangement. For instance, if you were going from E to E flat to E, why not just go to F? Because E is difficult to read, and even more so, F, G flat or whatever, if you're going up. So if you can skip one of those and go to keys that people can read, because we have to realize there are singers out there, not only just we're ranging for C, but also, for quartets, for directors, for music people to be able to play this. And, and it's like going, oh my God, would you come up and play the parts, please? And you're going, it's in 6 flats. So anyway, but we'll talk about that. Then we're going to listen to submissions, and including Jean's and mine. And then we're going to talk about intros, tags, and key changes. Not everybody did a key change, but a couple of fixes we're going to do, and then examine each one of those. And of course, Jean, you had what else you were going to say in there? Didn't make it on my list there.
Oh,
It'll come.
yes, I wasn't paying attention. I was
I'm
setting up my
sorry.
screen. Sorry.
Yes, you're doing all things technical here.
Yeah,
But we'll just come in with it. I just kind of wanted to give a basic overview so that you would know this is kind of the order we're going to do it. Abby's list with Judy's additions, talk about the key, listening to everyone's. And when we do that, we haven't done this before, but we thought it would be interesting to just play them and let you just hear them and make notes as you're hearing them. I mean, not anything specific, but it's like, was there anything that was particularly resonated with you, or that you heard something that you went, or whatever, and see if you can find some of the places that made a little tweaking before we even go to them, So, and then of course, we're going to talk about the tags and the intros and the key changes and examine the submissions. So each submission separately. So, all right. So do you want to pull up Abby's, there it is. It was so cool that you did that, Abby. And getting into holiday mode, it was, I think for most of us, I would have taken another look at it, except I thought, oh, isn't that cool? Abby did that. And I looked at it, I thought, that's cool. And didn't look at it again until I started looking at everything, all of your submissions. I thought, let me go back to Abby's list again. So particularly at the top, when you said legal and complete, which is good. And then it made me think, do you have the right chord? Or, there were a lot of instances where people put in just the simple 3-note chord and doubling the root of the fifth or the something when you needed a seventh. And it seemed like it should be obvious, but it wasn't. So we needed to look and was that even the right chord to start with? So that's always a good thing. Cross relationships, of course. I think the one that people had a question with, wasn't it, Jean, that we were talking about the same bar accidentals in other parts? We're just going to ask.
Yeah.
Is that because you looked at that when I went, what do you?
So I understand it. Same bar accidentals in other parts in the same measure, yes, because if you're just reading the lead line, if you're a baritone and then the lead has that accidental, technically music-wise, yours would have that same accidental, but it needs to be marked in the baritone part also because you may just only be reading the baritone line. So I think everybody understands that one. But I was confused with same voice accidentals in the next bar. Can you tell me what did you mean by that so that I understand that better?
That just meant if a voice had an accidental and then in the next measure, it went back to the key signature, putting courtesy.
Oh, courtesy accident. Yeah.
Courtesy,
okay.
Yeah.
So the correct publishing rule about that is if the accidental is the very last beat of the measure, say like somebody has an A flat that's not in the key signature, and the very next note in that same part is an A natural, then you would put a courtesy A natural sign. But if it's 3 or 4 notes over from there, you don't need to put a courtesy accidental. It's just when it happens immediately after the accidental note.
What about if it's a tie held over a bar line? I like to put a courtesy because we've wasted time debating this in rehearsals, but so I am going to put them in regardless of what you say. But if there is a note with an accidental tied over a bar line, and then there's no courtesy or anything written, should it be the same note or should it go back to?
Yes, it's a general music rule in the world that if it's tied over, say if it's an A flat that's tied over in the next measure, it's automatically an A flat without putting any kind of a courtesy anything.
So we shouldn't put little bracket.
You don't need to on the tie one. But then if the very next note after the tie, say is like the second note in the measure is the A natural, then you would put a courtesy.
That's what you're saying, isn't it, Abby? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I've actually had Yes. Yeah, I probably overdid a few. No, I meant, should you put one on the tied note over the
Yeah.
bar line? 'Cause
No.
I've even wasted time at rehearsal debating this with people, and it's just,
Just tell them that that's a general music rule that everybody in the world knows. Every musical person, no matter what country, that's a given rule. That when it's tied over, it's still the same. No, yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Unless it's specifically marked, in which then it wouldn't be a tie, it would be a slur. If it went from A flat to A natural over the bar line, that would have to be a slur because that's two different pitches, right?
Right, yeah,
Right.
okay. And I don't think you can go wrong with adding a courtesy accidental, even if it occurred earlier in the measure, by the time it gets to that part again, for publication, maybe not, but maybe for the ease
Yeah.
of the singer, because we
Yeah.
have it happen all the time. It's like, well, that was back over, I'm like, what? I hear you, Abby. We have to go with our singers there. Okay.
Mm.
And then there was another one was what was someone else had asked the question about that.
I had asked you about if Barry one step above
Oh.
lead voice.
You know what? Thank you. A whole step. Actually, we're going to show that when we go through these because there's a really great couple of great examples of that where when you're going along, you automatically start singing what the Barry note was because of these two that were side by side. And that's when you want to revoice. And it happened, I think, with 3 of you, that if you'd simply flip-flop the baritone and the bass, you would have escaped that problem with burying the lead. But that is, in certain instances, almost all of these would be, well, not all, something like that. If Barry's one step above the lead, revoice it. Well, it
Not
depends
always. Yeah.
where, not always, but it's something to take a look at when you go through here and here. You just have to know, it's like, did I start singing the melody line was the baritone? I mean, did I hear that? If so, I don't want to cover up the melody. But so it's just something to keep in mind that if you have a choice, particularly if it's like a baritone's on a G and a lead is on an F, it's probably a really good idea to revoice that baritone so that it is not side by side in the middle of that chord, in the middle of where their tessitura is, about the same. Yeah. So simplify embellishments. What was it? I noticed that in a lot of things too. I think generally to make a key change on the part that says instead of all voice in parallel motion, find the common tone. In general, that's really important for a key change. But it's also important. You just look at good arrangements, and you will see that they flow along, and there's a thread of that tonality that just simply goes through. We don't generally just jump from one chord to another chord with nothing to connect it, nothing to enjoy the harmony there. So I noticed that we've talked about that a lot. Sometimes depending on where it is, it's not always that you have to have the common tone, but if you look at your piece and you're going, if all 4 of those parts kind of jump up somewhere from a second to a fourth to a, whatever, it's like, what holds the harmony together? What holds the singer together? It's like, okay, who's staying home? I think somebody needs to stay home. Yeah.
And yes, but if they're jumping, if they're doing it is possible to use the same chord 2 times in a row and have it revoiced, which could make a totally different jump. But you have to keep in mind the singers have already heard that chord in chord 1, so it's not so difficult to jump to a different part, a different note in that chord for the second one.
Yeah. And I think it was just one, and we even talked about that. I talked to Dawn a little bit about that center note that you need to voice all the pickups. And, she's got that now. But there's very few times that we would just have the lead. I mean, it would be very specific when the lead would just do the lifting or do the lead by herself or the bass or the something. But as a general rule, all 4 parts want to play they all want to continue to be, it's not Gladys Knight, the Pips, you know, so, um,
Can I ask a follow-up question on what
Yeah,
Jean
dear.
was talking about, please?
Mhm.
Okay, so Jean, you were saying that when you say you have like an F7 voiced a particular way, and then in the next beat you want to revoice it to have the move this, you know, the singers move up and all that. Can you also apply that same thinking to another variation of an F chord, say from an F7? Can you then have everybody else moving in parallel motion? Say if you want to move to an F9 or an open F,
Hmm.
is that considered in the same family, or does it have to be the same variation of that chord?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think this through in my head. Hold on. Wow.
So I'm talking about the rules of parallel motion when
Right,
it's
right. allowed.
allowed.
So if you say start on an F7 chord, and let's say the second chord is going to be another F7 chord in
Mhm.
different voicing, there's not going to be anyone that moves a parallel fifth. Probably not, because it's the same chord. You know, you won't have parallel fifth. You might have a parallel thing where everybody's moving up, but you still have to keep in mind that the bass should still be on the root or the third. The parts that are going to switch are probably the other three. You know, the melody. Well, wait, I'm confusing you. So
But I think what I'm asking though is
yeah,
about parallel motion, not so
yeah,
much parallel fifths.
I
You know,
see.
just the motion. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
all the voice force parts moving up or descending. You
yeah,
know, can
yeah.
they do that if the chord is within the same family, not necessarily exactly the same chord?
I think it's possible. Yeah. It would depend on what else is happening around it, you know, or where the melody goes. There's no like fast cut rule about that, other
Okay.
than if all four parts are jumping up to a completely different chord, that's when it sounds very parallel, or
Mhm.
that's when you should try to come up with another option. But as far as it being the same chord, or the F7 and the F9 are basically the same chord, then all you're doing is swapping the voicing. So in order to swap the voicing, they won't all four go up probably, because somebody has to switch and go down, if you think about it, on the same chord.
In all things, Elizabeth, you just remember that if one part needs to move another direction, if at all possible,
Mhm.
Oh
okay?
yeah, that's a
That's
good
the
way to think of it.
you need contrary motion for tuning, for uh, for ring. You need it for everything. We're built to have contrary motion. If everything moves up all together, it can happen, and it does happen at times. But I would say, don't worry, don't think about that stuff. Think about how I want to have this. I want to have contrary motion going, because that is what's going to give the ring, and that's what's going to be easiest for the singers to do, and
Right.
for tuning. Okay, just
And,
I wouldn't
and
worry about the rest of it.
but we're not talking about when you have a chord and then everybody goes down a half step and comes
It,
back up a half step.
exactly.
We're not talking about that. Yeah.
No, and the rocking, I call them the rocking chords, and we
Yeah.
had a lot of thing, and many of you got that. But ba da da. I mean, everybody goes down a half step and up a half step. Perfect. Nobody
Yeah.
has any problem with that. But that's not the same thing as everybody's all going to jump up a fourth.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially to some other note that nobody has sung in the
Yeah.
previous.
They haven't heard it. Yes.
That's it's as Gino says, if it's in your head, you have it. And that's why I did my little Spider-Man thing. Is like, we have to weave this harmony through. So if you leave home, I mean, he's not going to jump to the next thing without keeping, landing. I put in another neighborhood, which is a whole nother chord. But just there needs to be commonality. There needs to be continuity. There needs to be staying in the program, And the other thing was, Jean has a good way to say it, but I'll let you talk about the ninth, Jean.
Oh. Yes. What did we say about the
Oh,
night?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. There were and we'll see it when we we're going through everyone's arrangement, but there were times when people used the ninth chord, and okay, so then a ninth chord has 5 notes, so you have to leave something out. So how do you know when you should leave out the root or you should leave out the fifth? And so we're going to be talking more about how did I know that, as we look into your arrangements, because it does make a difference. And lots of times, I would say maybe the majority of the times, oh, I shouldn't say that probably, because it's an exception to every rule. The majority of the time, you're going to try to you should leave out the root and not the fifth. Did I say that right, or did I say it backwards?
Yep. No, you said it right.
Yeah,
Leave out
yeah,
the
yeah.
root. Omit the root.
Yeah.
And-
Even though you could do either or, you're going to find that it's going to feel more like a solid chord. The other way feels hollow to me. And we'll talk about that when we get to a spot like that.
Yeah. It's best for voice leading. It's best for keeping the harmonic flavor. You can always hear where that root goes as you're playing through there. But if you consistently do the ninth with the root, then the fifth is the heart of that almost every chord anyway.
Yeah.
Without the fifth, what has everybody got to do with it? We can hear where that root is, but we noticed that was a lot of times it would have been a lot stronger. Not that you couldn't do it, but a lot stronger. And we'll see that it moves better when you use the fifth. In most cases, the other thing is you can get to that root when you sometimes have it like it's go let the bass go down to the root on the next chord, and then you have established the flow of that harmony. But if you started there and left it out, it's like I feel like I just had turkey dinner without cranberries and mashed potatoes or something. I don't know.
Well, and it messes up the overtone series, because you want to hear the fifth. You want to have that the fifth in that chord.
Does anybody have any other questions on this one? And once again, thank you, Abby, because we wouldn't have had this discussion, you see, if you hadn't done that.
Cool.
Okay.
So did we cover all this? Did we get to everything?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, her other things on there were pretty much obvious that we needed to do.
Yeah.
So it was very good. We were talking then about the selecting the key. So I don't think there was necessarily right or wrong, but if you have an option between an E flat or an F with just a half step, and it doesn't change for the tenor of the bass, basically go to the one that's easier to write, because when you got started doing some of these real cool chord changes and key the more that you have to add more accidentals to show them. If you're an F, it's easy to add an accidental here or there, or even E flat, but that gets that 4 sharps. Sharps are, in general, harder for people to play. That comes from a piano teacher, but sharps we don't resonate with them as well. Flats we seem to be able to play easier, or be able to actually sing easier. And if you take it up like I noticed that Liz, I think you did yours in F, and then you did a key change, and so she did a key change to G flat for like 16 bars. We can handle 16 bars of that, okay? It's not a big thing, but if your entire thing is basically in a difficult key for people to do, unless you have a really good reason for it, and particularly mostly those kinds of things, like E would be more of an uptune, E flat is more of a ballad, F can go either way. And I noticed that somebody had one where they didn't, Elizabeth, you did, where you didn't go down to the C in this one place, which would have made a beautiful chord because it was a low C.
Yeah, because you're talking about in the bass. I struggled a lot with that.
And we're going to talk about, because, and Jean would tell you how to do it, but you could put that C down there, and then you could put the option with the little thing around there of the other C, because in that situation, when you have that kind of a chord, you can easily then take that and because you had a follow up to that with the tenor part. If you put that bass on the C there, then you can take that bass down to the G and let the tenor go, and you have 2 parts to go. Oh, that was reminding me of something else. Some of you have like put one part to go like dee, or something like that. Well, then make another part go let's get
Oh,
the contrary motion going. One part, particularly if it happens to be the tenor, going. It's like really she feels lonely. But let the bass counter that or something, or but it's kind of it's hollow. It doesn't have the kind of ending that we want it to have. So okay,
so wait, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here
yeah,
a
go
little
go
bit
for it, girl.
about the key, the key change.
Yes,
So if we're supposed to be arranging stuff for a C-level group, some C-level groups can't even do key changes. But if they are capable of doing a key change and keeping it in tune and making it to the new key, it's much easier for them to do a key change that only goes up a half step instead of a whole step. And
oh yeah,
so to me, doing the sharps, yes, it's hard if you have to plunk it on the keyboard or something, but once the learning track is in their brains, I don't think that's such a big deal if you start in E flat and go to E, or start in A flat and go to A. But
yeah.
it looks messy on the paper with lots of accidentals, but
Mhm.
I don't think I, as an arranger, would not worry about, oh, who's going to be able to read this, because if I'm feeling this is the right key to start in, and
Yeah,
I want to go up a half step, I'm going to do it.
as well you should. Which thank you reminded me. If I started in E flat and I wanted a key change, this is a good opportunity to do a whole step. Go
Yeah,
from E flat to F.
yeah.
Now, if you really wanted it in E, and that was your choice because you thought that was the best place for everybody to be singing, then yes, then you'd go up to the F. That's fine. Um, this is a little known fact, but in the key of E, if the tenors end on an E, E is not as easy to sing as F anyway. A tenor sings an F easier than an E. So, yeah, can I get an amen, tenors?
Amen.
The tenors can sing an A flat better than a G. It's just true. That's right. There's just something in it that rings, and I don't think I've ever met a tenor that would say they would rather sing a G than an A flat. It's like, oh, goody, we get to sing an A flat. Okay. Anyway, you can pop one of those babies, but you cannot pop a G very well. Okay. So anyway, too much. All right. So now we're going to listen to them, and so get out your little paper and listen, so if you want to look along with your music or something like that, I don't know, Jean, whatever order you go, it's up to you.
Okay, I think we're starting with Elizabeth. I mean, we have the order right here on the paper. I mean,
Oh, okay.
yes, we're going to start with Elizabeth. So let me get the screen share going here. Alrighty, got that and that, it. And, oh, wait a minute, I gotta get that out of the way, get this out of the way, blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay, so do you want to review what, say once again, what are they supposed to be doing while we're listening to this, Judy?
Just as you've listened, and if you may have had a chance to look at it, but just in general, as you hear it and being there, if there's something that stands out to you and you're going like, I, you know, I heard there needed to be a seventh, or there's I liked this, I liked her triplet treatment, or I liked her voicing of this, or whatever it is that I don't know, whatever resonates with you. I can't tell you what I think but
Okay.
you'll know.
Perfect. Okay, here we go. Here, let me do that too, just in case we need to go back. All right. Oh, kind of that. Wait a minute now. Okay, so here's what happened. I had this all set up, and then my computer did an automatic update, which totally screwed up everything. So I was like, thanks a lot. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so one thing that And maybe that's just my own pet peeve. I don't know. One thing that helps me, and maybe it's just because I'm used to it, is hearing it piano instead of, you know,
Voices.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm surprised that it came out like that because I changed that in my system.
Yes. Ah, okay.
I
Well,
did. So I don't know why you got it. And when you got it, it's playing the choir Oz.
yeah, well, because that's the default, but you're right. If you changed it that way, it should have stayed that way. But it might have been with an update. Who knows? Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, shoot. Oh, why it's not jumping to that. Sorry. Bravo, bravo.
Elizabeth.
Thank you.
All right. What does anybody have a thought about any particular thing?
I like the feel of the tag at the end.
Okay.
In measure 46, there's like the best barbershop. It's so that sweet pal of mine at 46 is just perfect.
That's really good. Yeah, that's lovely. That was lovely.
Yeah,
That's sweet
yeah.
Palomine.
Thank you.
Yep, very nice.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. That was my favorite. And the triplet treatment that Judy mentioned before, I really like that.
The triplet treatment is really nice. The little lyric additions that made it possible to do those, do you hear me? All those little things that were added I think made it very special. Did anybody notice the change in the whole thing when it went to F? Did you hear when she did the key change? Nice key change. But did you? What happened? There's ring. It rings. I want you to just listen as we're going through to hear when it's nice, it's okay with E, but all of a sudden, when it gets to that da da da, and all of a sudden, boom, F is a good singing place to be. Could we go to 81 for just a minute? I don't want to spend a lot of time here, but we talked about the ninth, and it just hit me right then that maybe since we've got Elizabeth up there, we could just take a quick look at that before we go to the next thing. Because it's a perfect opportunity to say the fifth would have been really nice. You get to 81 there.
Right. Right. So you want to hear that spot again, or
I just have us to take a look at it first off.
okay.
One.
I think
It's interesting. Did anybody notice that she did it in 4/4? I was here waiting to hear what you thought about that.
Yes, I noticed that.
What'd you think of that?
It was very different.
yeah. To me, parts of it still felt like it was in 3, but then some of the swipes made it. Oh yeah, it's not in 3; it's in 4.
Her lyric adaptation made it all of a sudden feel like 4/4 was okay.
Yeah.
If she had done that, it would not have worked, but I think it worked really nicely with that. So, can you pull that one up, Jean?
Yeah. So you want to?
I want to
Right.
look at 81.
Here's 81 right there. Oh, where's
I'm
it? Oh, there we go. Okay, I forgot to push the button. Okay.
What are you doing? Okay, so if you look at 81, you've got thrill with your charms, and on that width is a 9, right? So
Yes.
it goes like this. If she'd have had it on the 5th, you hear it?
Oh,
When you hear it fills in better when you use the 5th on the width. If she went back up to the D for the bass, thrill with your charms instead of thrill with your charms. When you get an opportunity, pretty much that's a good thing. And then on charms, I noticed, Elizabeth, that you have a G chord there, when in fact that needs to go back up to a 7 again, doesn't it? Listen to it. So I'm going to go. You hear? It wants to go back up to that. So, and in fact, that really isn't a G. That's another 9, isn't it?
no, it could be a.
No, that'd be a
It
G7.
could be a G7.
It could be a G7, yes.
Yeah.
If the berry stayed on, if the berry went
F.
to an F, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right. But I mean, you have to, the whole voice is, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. Of course. But it needed something. Charm and charm. It needed to be filled in with that a little bit. I was going to say one other thing about that is I think 98 bars in general, you'll want to look at it. And we didn't spend a lot of time with that, but it may have one too many verses or choruses because you had such a story you wanted to tell. So it took that. But 98 bars is a long song. And if you're doing something for one of these, we'll want to learn to. I remember hearing Bev Sellers one time talking about that she had this medley and she wanted 4 songs. And they said, no, you cannot have 4. You must cut one out. She said, no, but I want 4. And they said, no, you have to have 3. So, but it was kind of like this. You have a great story, but I think you'd want to, once you hit that key change, that should be the shortest part of the song in general. That's kind of taking us home and it goes on.
Reprise, yeah.
Right? It goes on
too long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as a thought that it's really interesting and a great story, but I think that was something. Anybody else have just a comment on what they heard there or anything about Elizabeth?
Well, I agree with it being too long, and the music judge might make a comment like, you know, this was not the best form, or, you know, it would be considered weak because of the form, because it was too long, and it gives them more opportunity to find mistakes in the performance. You know, that's what we were always told. So it's like, oh, be careful about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Just-
was a bit curious about at the beginning of the song. It
Mhm.
felt like the rhythm was sort of very much the same. That's why it was nice when she had the triplets and stuff. But I am longing today for that love far away that we left in the days long ago. Like that's
Yes.
Yeah, very good. That's what we call patterned, right?
yeah.
It's patterned phrasing. And so generally they will say to a quartet or a chorus, that's patterned phrasing, but as arrangers, we could help it, couldn't we? Longing today for that love far away. You know,
That
hold out the love.
love far away. Yeah. Uh-huh.
No, I considered doing that. And the reason I didn't do that, I considered syncopating today for that. Syncopating in measure 2, but the reason I didn't was because when I went to verse number 2, in that same spot, the words weren't right for syncopating. I didn't like syncopating the words there.
But that's
So-
okay. That was verse 2. That's okay.
Oh, it is okay.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
because I thought it was supposed to
Yeah.
make, like, I thought that when you have repeated passages, you're supposed to keep them as similar as possible.
Well, as a verse, you know, because the lyrics are different. I would, you know,
I don't think
because the lyrics is different. I wouldn't worry about that. I would put it the way that's gonna more conversational,
Actually,
more
it would've, yeah.
conversational, you know,
Okay, okay.
and that would help that. Yeah.
your notes can be the same, and that keeps the continuity, but it's a different message. So you have
Yeah.
to have a different manner of presentation in the notation of it. So
Okay.
Right.
we have
Okay.
there was really it's a really lovely job, Elizabeth. You know, but you are missing in almost all those B chords. Those are B7s many times. You know,
Yeah.
and I said, you know, so did it would have been even so much. It would be so much better with the sevenths in there.
It makes it more barbershoppy, you know. When I finish an arrangement, of course, I've done it enough times now, I do it automatically. But as a new arranger, you know, I would do what it said, and then I would go back and go, oh, where could I make it sound more barbershop? And what makes it more barbershop? Barbershop, dominant sevenths, dominant ninths. And so then I would go through and say, oh, wait a minute, that could be a B7 there. You know, now my barbershop ear does that automatically. It didn't used to when I was first learning how, but it does now. And so until you're used to that, that's one of the things I would check with proofreading. It's like, oh, what else could I do to make it sound more barbershoppy? You know, I was just kind of a weird kid, I think, because I would listen to songs on the radio and I would hear them in barbershop in my head.
that
You
is
know, that is very strange. And you know, but I sang in a quartet when I was started in second grade, so it's like I had the opportunity to mess with that and stuff. But
Let me
so
play just the very beginning of that and everybody listen and hear what you hear just at the very beginning, okay?
okay.
Play what's here.
Oh yeah.
Play it. Okay, stop. Yeah, but what I was just gonna play, just listen to this, okay? Okay, Elizabeth has. And I'm suggesting. Do you
So
hear?
what did you do? It's
So-
hard to hear the difference on your keyboard. I don't know. Maybe it's just my
So
ears.
making longing the ing the B7,
Ah,
making that a B7, and all of a sudden it's like going, oh, that's lovely, then, isn't it?
okay. Do it again now. So you changed the ing to a B7 chord, right?
Change the tenor to an A.
Yeah. Okay. Do it again now.
And before it was. which sounds a little square, doesn't it?
It
And-
sounds more barbershoppy with the tenor on the A.
Sounds more lyrical, more harmonic, and whatever, whether you call it barbershop or not. But anyway, but okay. So in keeping with it, good job.
So let me ask Elizabeth then. So when you listen to your finished arrangement, whether the computer plays it or you play it or whatever, do you notice any spots that sound or feel hollow or feel less solid than some of the other chords? I don't know if that's something your ear picks up.
Yeah, actually in my embellishment there, it measures 7 through 8. It felt kind of hollow in there. I'm still not happy with that. And I struggled with whether or not I should even have an embellishment at that point because it's so early in the song. But it's a measure and a note, so I was like, oh, what do I do with this?
Yeah, you should have some kind of something there, yes, because it is a long note. Yeah.
But it did feel kind of a little hollow to me. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not happy with that particular embellishment. That's for sure.
Okay.
We'll come back to maybe some other little areas, but as far as for the total group goes here, those were some things that I think was.
So what is your
And also, I have to say, what we're looking at right now is not. I had submitted another one with some corrections, and it's not that.
It's not this one?
No, that's not the right one.
Oh,
Because I
good
had
grief.
changed the chord, the chord at the end, the G minor at the end of the page there. I had changed that bass to a D sharp.
And I got that, and we didn't make that change because this is right. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's right. You changed it.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yes,
I
I
didn't
did.
realize I had a wrong
No, you
version
didn't
up
have
there.
it. I didn't send it on.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
no
Okay.
wonder. Yeah.
But then the embellishment at measure 12,
Mhm.
where I have just the tenor singing. My
You-
ear,
We're
my
getting-
ear.
we're getting to those things, but we're
Yeah.
just playing through them right now. We're not all looking at all that, okay?
Okay.
But it is when sometimes when we've had them and people go, "Oh, I see that I made mistakes," and then you send me something that is you changed something that was already good.
Mm.
So that's I feel really bad. It's like, oh dear, that was not the point at all. You just changed something good, and so yeah. Anyway,
So I just want to say, Elizabeth, when you hear a spot or you weren't happy with it or you thought it was hollow or whatever, do you go back and try some other chords, or do you just say, oh well, I'll get back to that some other time? Tell me
No,
how you think through it.
I spent endless hours.
Ah,
I spent a
okay.
lot of time on this to the point where I feel like I started getting all twisted up and perhaps changing
yeah.
things that were good because I
Yeah.
second and third and fourth guessed my
Oh,
And-
okay, gotcha. Yeah.
choices.
you know what?
No,
Liz?
I do.
You know what? That happens to everybody.
Oh yes,
Does it?
it does.
Everybody, you go back, and I've done that sometimes over the years. And I've looked at things. I'm going, oh my gosh, and I go back and I make this whole thing. And I'm like going, well, now what did I accomplish doing that? But I thought I need to change this. I need to make something, whatever. And it's like
Yeah.
in the case of when you sent those, I'm like going, well, I know you did. That's why I sent you a note and said, you didn't need to fix this. It was fine. You
Ah,
you fixed.
Okay.
I was
I
hoping you
know.
noticed that there was a seventh missing, not that phrase. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I do. And I think I'm hearkening back when I'm debating whether to use a triad or a seventh. I think to myself about one time we were looking at some arrangements and you were saying, oh, it's too early for the seventh.
what?
And well, yeah, there was a point where you said, no, seventh doesn't belong here because it was a little too early to put it in. And it just felt like maybe it was a little too early to get that seventh in there.
Erase that right away.
Yeah.
Maybe I heard the wrong. Did I hear the
No,
wrong?
You probably heard it right.
I
don't know.
think from memory that was the first beat of the bar, and she wanted the second beat of the bar to go to the seventh.
Oh,
The first beat of the bar, she wanted the root chord.
Thank you, Liz.
there
Thank you.
you go. Yeah.
That's what I remember for that.
Yeah.
Not ready to faint that
Yeah.
away. No, it's
Okay.
never too early for a seventh or a ninth or any kind of a chord, except yes, the beginning the chord in the major should be a good strong chord, and
Yeah.
and that doesn't mean it couldn't be at some point a seventh, but not usually. But anyway,
Yeah.
we need to always say. And someone else said, "Well, you said never put the bass on the seventh." No, 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 no. I said in general, it's
Yeah.
strong voicing and it's not strong harmonization to put the bass on the seventh for a number of reasons. And mostly because the bass needs to be in the strongest part of the thing, and that would not be the seventh. But if it's in a passing tone, if it's in a, you need it for a voicing thing, you need it for, what a transition, that's fine. But it's not a, I am not Sylvia Alsbury who would stamp her foot and say, never put the bass on the seventh.
Right. Yeah. 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 Because every rule is made to be broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have to know when it's right to break the rule.
There's a reason not to do it, and it seems obvious, doesn't it? If the
Mhm.
if, that the chord is built on to put the top note in a 1 3 5 7 to put that on the bass is probably not going to be strong voicing. But
Mhm.
on the other hand, it can work when you need it to. It isn't like a no-no, but it's not. In general, you should try to keep the bass on the root of the fifth and occasionally the third, whatever, but not the seventh. So anyway, okay, let's go to Abby's because
Yeah.
Abby gave us some real challenges with her um, time signatures, and we want to hear all about why you chose those, Abby.
All right. Let me get to it. Hold on here. Oot. Pause that. Okay. Find Abby. There it is.
I'm not sure that Finale is playing it back.
Oh.
Did you find that, Jean, that it wasn't playing back the way I'd written the equals thing? Did you find that?
I didn't notice that when I
Okay. Okay.
let me double check. Okay. Also, once again, I gotta do what?
When we in a little bit we're going to do. I did a little couple fixes, and we'll talk about that with Emily's key change and with Abby's intro and with Donna's intro that will show and compare just a couple things, because when you did original intros, yay, it, just to show everybody how they can be even more effective maybe by I like changed a couple little things, but I really salute you for doing the intros. That I mean, that's great. Not that if you didn't do an intro, you were not bad, but the ones that did intros, we'll talk about them a little separately. So,
Okay, I think we're ready here.
all right, ready for the fun.
So let me see what you're talking about here when I. This is making me crazy. Ooh.
It's got a lot of stuff going on there, Abby.
Cool.
All right. What you
Okay,
all think?
so what was it? Did you notice whatever you were asking about the playing part? Did it sound funny? Or
No, I think it's all right. I've listened to it too many times, so it's hard for me
ah,
to
yeah.
basically it looks complicated, but it should have a really steady beat all the way through, except for any fermetas. It should just not sound as complicated as it looks. Do you know what I mean?
Aha. Okay, so there's something we could do to help that. Okay. One of the things we could do is so you had the time signature 2/2, which is fine. Most musicians know what that is, but maybe if you put cut time there instead, that might have been a little more clear to the average singer.
You mean
So
put the symbol C with the line, you
yeah,
mean?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that would show me that okay, so the underlying pulse is 1 2 1 2, and when you're in 2/2, it's yatta 2 2 1 2 ooh. And when you're in the duple meter, it's yatta da 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 da, right? And you wanted the say like the pulse to be the
Yeah.
same, even though it was changing um time signatures, correct?
Yes.
Was that yes? Okay. So when you have cut time or 2/2, that's 2 beats to a measure. And I was curious why you chose 12/8. You know, if you're doing like the downbeat in cut time, you have 1 2 1 2, and if you're doing 12/8, you have 1 2 2 3 4 4 beats in a measure, right? When you think of the underlying pulse.
I was probably trying to avoid writing swing because I find sometimes when you write swing, singers don't always get the the
Is how it feels, huh?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I had done this in a different way that I think I'd done it similar, but it was like twice as fast and it was way too wordy. So
Ah,
I'm trying to um how did I have it? I think I had thinking today of a pal far away who went da 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 da, and that was way too.
oh yeah,
So I was trying to make it easier.
Okay.
That was too much. So this was my compromise on if you could just keep the pulse going right through and then you figure out where things land.
Yeah, yeah.
That was sort of the that was
Mhm.
the idea.
So I would keep in mind though, so even if you did like a duple meter here, because the first part of the song was 2 beats per measure, it's a
Yep.
pulse, then I would keep this part 2 beats per measure. So I would make it 6/8
Oh,
instead of
okay.
12/8. To keep the consistency. Because of course, as a musician, I would go, wait a minute, is it four beats here because you wanted the tempo to change, but you did mark the tempo, right? So did you I did forgot to look, was it 80 at the beginning too? Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you can also put a little thing that says quarter note equals or half note equals quarter note,
Yeah.
and doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing you could do is do swing and let them try to figure it out. Yes, I see what you were trying to do. It was just the 12/8 that got me confused.
I think Jean made such a good point because we were talking about this. I'm going, was it this? What is this? It seems odd to me because I hear thinking today of 1 2 1 2 1, which goes in your 1 2 1 2 up here, and yet I'm trying to get to 12, like she said, breaking into 4 beats a measure. I think it's pretty clearly you know, that it would read easier for people to read it if it were 6/8, and that
Okay.
bar line comes right after your eighth note that you tie over. Thinking today. There's a bar line, and I get it. Oh, I get it. Pay off our wet bar line, right?
Yeah.
Is we can we can feel it more. And that left in the bar line days long ago. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, good.
Very interesting in there. And then just one little note about that. I like that idea of putting that in there. It breaks it up and it's kind of fun. But if you're going to go thinking today, you broke up thinking and today. If you had thinking today of a place far away, you can still keep in your 6/8 and make it not, um,
Yep, the patterned. Yep.
yeah, pattern right there, but that I left in the days long ago does it just perfect. But you just might want to rethink about how you're doing thinking today of a play, or think or whatever. It just was a little thing, but it was cool. I liked it. Do anybody else hear about that? What'd you think of that?
Yeah, personally, I find it difficult to read because I'm not as musically literate as all of you. But as soon as I see the 12/8, I'm thinking, what does that mean? And I don't know how to intuitively sing it.
Right, right.
I think we could. I think time. Those are hard to do. I'm always like trying to figure out what my time. What is the
Yeah.
in your head it's one thing. I'm with Abby. It's like, well, I know what I was meaning, just because you people don't understand.
Yeah. So
that's-
Abby, how would you speak the rhythms in this section of the song? Let me hear you speak it.
Oh, I am thinking today of a pal far away, left in the days long ago. But I like Judy's change. Thinking today. Yeah, that is better.
Today. So if you did it, so when you
Yeah.
just said that to me, were you thinking 12/8 or were you thinking swing? Or what were you thinking? Or none of the above?
Yeah, I think swing. I think a lot of this is with older charts.
Yes.
Often the director will be like, "Oh, well, they actually mean this," and then we waste all this time.
Oh yeah.
The
Right.
baritone to write in their notes, and then the basses can never get it until it's and so I think part of this is that modern concept of writing out things literally. So maybe I was too literal.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the 6/8 would
I
solve
think
a lot of it.
I think you're
Yeah.
6/8, and then like
Yes,
the
6/8 would fix that.
those bar lines in the middle of that thing. We got
Mhm.
that cooked. Um, what else did anybody have there about Abby's? Can you scroll up a little, Jean?
Yeah.
So look at that next part up there, going up there, because she did another.
You mean the next page? Or what do you mean?
Yeah, I meant scroll. I meant the next page. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Let me see.
Yeah, is there right
There we go.
terminology here? I don't know. Oh yeah, Jean and I talked about this too. Um, okay, Jean, you talk about it.
About the stomp?
About the stomp.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So right here, so you're still in 12/8. So see now when you were talking about writing things out exactly so people would understand, that was so Joni Beska's. Anytime she had a stomp in her arrangements, she wrote it in 12/8. Like if the first part of the song was in 4, she would write 12/8, and that's how you're supposed to feel the stomp. But I think, putting the half note equals dotted quarter note, as far as the beat goes, helps that. So okay, so I have seen in arrangements that if you're switching to like a duple meter, like 6/8 or 12/8, that's where the stomp is. But you chose not to do that. So tell me your thinking on. So you wanted it to be swingy, and then when you got to 45, you wanted it to be stomp. Was
Tell
that?
us how you were going to do that, Annie.
Yeah, so in fact that then goes back to if I had put it in 6/8 earlier, then the stomp I'm not sure, would that then go to 12? Maybe that's why I did it as well. So yes, I'm aware that normally you'd go, and then a stomp would start the 12/8, but I'd done it early with the interlude. So I thought, okay, I'll just continue this. And I thought it worked because we already have that pulse. So it would make sense to just stay in that pulse, no writ or anything until the end of the stomp. So I thought it kind of worked if you are used to doing a stomp. So yes, if you did the interlude in 6/8, maybe this would not
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you would then continue this.
Okay, so
Uh,
speak this part.
Okay.
How you do it.
Starting at the interlude and speak it all the way through the stomp,
Okay.
so we can know what you're thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna look at mine so I can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thinking today of a pal far away, left in the days long ago. I am longing to hear just a voice ringing clear. Oh, how I miss you so. I am back, Hella mine. I am ready for your arms. Let me know when you're ready for, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, help me out, Judy, because when she got to the stomp, it sounded more like in threes, in triplets. The underlying yada da 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 da, and it felt jerky. I don't know if jerky is the right word at the beginning when she was saying the beginning part of the interlude. Is it because of the emphasis on the syllables?
We were talking about that, but go up a little bit, Jean. The next page, then after the
Okay.
gaze in your eyes, once you see ya, da 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 in your gaze. I'm on. We thought this seems like the stomp. Gaze, I'm all in a daze in your eye. Drive me on for size, and then call me back to your heart, pal of mine. It seemed like that was the stomp. And by the way, that when this is the other thing is where does the tag start? We're talking about
Okay, wait. Yeah, we'll get to the tag in a minute. But
what
oh yeah, so okay. So then it goes back to regular here. Yeah, we were just trying. I understand why you're trying to make it easier for the singer. But yeah, to do 6/8 and then 12/8 and then it might
Yeah.
have been easier just to write swing or
Mm-hmm.
what you could have done at the interlude is maybe write swing.
Yeah.
Keep it in cut time swing or whatever, and then at the stomp, then go to the 12/8. That
Yeah.
might have been a little more clear, but I don't know.
Emily, I think what you have here is so many elements that are very cool. But the interlude, then you have that trying to do that stomp thing. Then you come back to this nice. I love this when you got to let me gaze in your eyes and you see da 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 da, which is really cool. And then all of a sudden you put in another one, ba da dum, ba da 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 da, and then back to the chorus again. I think you just have to somehow um uh, uh what am I trying to say? Um, sometimes you
Make,
just have too many
make
things.
Sophie's choice.
Huh?
Make Sophie's choice.
Yeah. Oh dear. Yes, but I mean, it's like, yeah, you just had too many things. It's sort of like Bevan or, Bev Sellers had to give up a song. I think you have to give one of these elements because once, it's like, okay. And one of the things that they'll do is like taking us out of tempo is one thing, right? But then you take us to another tempo, and then you take us to another tempo, and then you have another one, and it gets to be kind of all muddled in there, right? Jean, you're the
Well, as long as the pulse is keep staying the same, it's okay to go from double, like duple, 1 and 2 and 1 2 3 2. It's okay to do that
but
as
this
long as you don't go back and forth too many times.
but the
Doing
stomp when
that.
you put the stomp in there, the stomp normally would come closer to the very end. Generally you
Mm.
got the stomp and then you take it home, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, it could be either way. I've done
Yeah,
songs with stomps in the middle.
I don't. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not good form to put in the
yeah,
stomp in the middle of the song. Once you come out of it, like you did there, and then let me gaze in your eyes, da 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 da. Then it looks like we're going on home, and then all of a sudden you go to that next page with what we both love. That I'm all in a daze in your eyes, try me on, which
yeah. That feels like part of the stomp. Yeah.
that felt like the stomp to me, and I like that in your eyes, and then call me back to your heart, pal of mine. So you're going kind of in and out of those things. And whether or not that's what you meant, but if we're reading it, gaze, I'm all in a daze, and your eyes try me on for size, that makes you want to sing more stomp like, just the way it's written. And it's very cool. It's very cool. But I think
Yeah.
you have to kind of get all the thoughts together, you know. But definitely when you have that many things going on, it's very exciting because you know how to make something interesting. Now you just have to pick and choose which is going to make
Yeah.
the strongest thing. And maybe this idea goes into the next song. It's like, I got this really, maybe I better cut out that one thing and make it, it's a little, the song is 72 bars. There's something in there that's about 8 bars or 12 or 16 bars, maybe a little long. Maybe 8, just probably 8, right, Jean? Probably
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere in the 60s is, 60, 64. So I think there's one little thing you need to cut out that will make it flow better. And so when you play with that time signature, but so many exciting things. You guys and your lyrics here just crack me up.
Yeah, they're great.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
If I were a music judge sitting in the pit and listening to this song, I would go, oh, I mean, I would, no music judge sits there and counts, oh, they have 32 bars in this. They don't do that, but they can feel when the form is off. And listening to this, by the end of the song, I'd be going, oh, what was that form? So I would make a comment about the arrangement, the song form that seemed off, And so you don't want to. So if a judge is feeling that way, maybe the singers feel that way too. I don't know, to help it gel, So think about that when you're thinking about all your cool things. It's amazing what you guys come up with.
And while you're doing it, Abby, as terribly creative as you are, then in all the things you've got on, then in your tag, which we believe started with 65, yeah, because that would be a clean tag. You're way too clever to repeat the same lyric 2 times. Pull me back to your heart, pal of mine. Do save that for the thing, but have do not break my heart, but a champion do call me back to your heart, pal. You know what I'm saying? You need something. We don't need the same thing 2 times. We already heard it.
Yep.
Yeah. So of all that clever stuff you've got, maybe if something you're going to cut out, you could put in here or something. But you totally made a ballad into an uptune, which is very cool. So
yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
So we'll talk about your little intro here in a little bit. So now we get to do Miss Liz. And Miss Liz, you did it.
Can I ask a question, please? This is Elizabeth.
There you are, girl.
If we go to measure 27.
Okay. There.
Okay, a little gray area for me is appropriate lyrics in an echo.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Okay, so Abby has there as sweet as wine, but the lead line reads, kiss those sweet lips so divine. I was under the impression that our echoes lyrics should really not deviate from what is being, what the lead sings or what the words are there.
They need to rhyme and they need to make sense.
They just need to rhyme, yeah.
Okay.
So it's okay to do something like that because it rhymes. We're talking about the last syllable, right?
Right. Okay.
While they're holding divine and it ends up wine, it's all the same vowel sound.
And Elizabeth, I'm so glad you said that, because if you look, Abby, and everybody at 27, take that second word out, as, and just have it, having lips so divine, sweet as wine. Lips da 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 da. That's hard to do. Divine, that's sweet as wine, and it didn't accomplish much. Or divine be mine or something, very a little bit, but to repeat a note, a chord for everybody without, mostly it would be like you get a word if you change the chord. And Elizabeth, this was one of your things earlier. If you look at divine, which is one chord, then the next chord, everybody's singing the same notes with the word as, which,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? So, but the next word, sweet, when they all change notes, that's a good opportunity. Sweet, sweet as wine, or she repeated it, could be so divine, be mine, so divine, red wine. There you go. Now we're on it. Okay.
Whatever.
No, but you know what I'm saying.
I think it's time for a drinking break. No.
This is a drinking song. Oh, goody. Do you see what I mean? She has a repeated chord and then another repeated chord. So unless she needed it for a word, then divine bum bum would be stronger, wouldn't it? Do you see what I mean? Does everybody see what
Yeah, that makes
Yep.
sense.
Yes.
I
Yes.
cut out the second chord and the fourth chord? You'd have lips so divine bum bum, just two words. Is that right? Yeah. You know? You're looking at me like, yeah.
DTT. Oh, it's still 3 words. Da 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 da.
No,
Instead
no,
of 4 words. Da 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 da.
no, just I'm saying, um, yeah. So there's two chord changes.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because this chord's the same. I see what you're
The
saying.
third chord, and then the
Gotcha.
first chord to go,
Yeah.
right? That would be stronger than, which didn't
Yes.
accomplish much, did it? You know.
Right.
So bum ba dum, or yeah, ba-da-dum, or however you wanted to, but put words to the chords that change, and
Right.
and don't duple up on the words. Okay, good. All
Right.
right. Glad
Good.
you
Anything else before we leave this song?
Abby, baritone moving the tag. Yeah.
Ah.
As a baritone, loved it.
Very good. All right. Okay, so now we're on to Liz. Is that right?
Yeah.
Trying to get that one to come up right. Good Lord, why is this being so weird tonight? Okay, there we go. We got some Liz here. See if this will travel like it should. Driving me cuckoo. Okay, there we go. Uh-oh, that's probably not. Oops. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Do-do-do-do. All right, let's try this now. Too much stuff in the way. Yay. You know what I love about this one? It sounds so barbershoppy. The whole thing sounds real barbershoppy. You know, I didn't feel there was one spot, but I didn't feel any like hollow spots, except there was one where we can make it a little stronger, but it just felt so barbershoppy. Did anybody notice that besides me?
Miracle.
Really, really well done. Really well done.
Yeah.
What did everybody else think? What did you like it, huh?
Great. Really, she had a great key change. I like the tag.
Key change was very nice, very nice. And yeah, I like the tag. Oh, and okay, so Liz gave us a deceptive tag. She gave us a couple of little deceptive,
Ooh.
which was really cool. Could we just go back up to just for a minute, just to show one? Is that how big it's going to get? Can we go to 12?
Well, okay. I can make this smaller now so it can get bigger. But it's just, I don't know, something's scrolling funny.
I know it says real funny, doesn't it? Yeah.
Oops,
Um,
I went too far now. Hold on.
That's okay. We'll get there.
Oh, darn. It's down here.
Somewhere in the middle. Okay.
There it is. All right.
So, Liz, there was one maybe opportunity that you didn't, where you have there on voice ringing. You have voice ringing clear. Take. You know, you had, and yet everything go down, and if you'd have just taken it up, voice ringing clear, and voice ringing clear, and then let the leave the see the baritone stay up there, and then see singing oh, and then let the bass do that instead of the baritone, but singing oh or something, right? But it just, you missed an opportunity. I am longing to hear just a voice ringing clear. I just wanted to hear that chord pop instead of going down.
Yeah, I originally actually had the tenor singing that singing part.
Ah.
So I guess if I had done that, I would have taken it up. And I can't remember why I switched it back to the baritone.
But do you see what your voice leading? All your voice leading all the way through is really first rate. But on this one,
Right. Yeah,
do you hear it? You know, and the baritone voice ringing clear. So I just thought that was one place that was kind of like it jumped out at me because
okay,
your voice leading was so good all the way through, and there was a well, basically we can talk about other things, but I think we should talk about our tag a little bit again because it's very daring, and we like daring, and we like funky cool stuff, and I thought it was funky. Anyway, the paradise, call me back to your heart, love of mine. Now, what I would like to point out that Liz has made a perfect thing for me. Thank you, Liz. Sometimes we get so high on these things, right? And people let things linger up there. If you'll notice that Ms. Liz gave us, give me back to your heart, love of mine, big chord, mine. Making a big point here. Okay. Mine, and then it comes down to that thing, take me back to your heart, pal of mine, and brought it back down. Just almost textbook, you know? But yeah. So really that arc, that line of the thing, do you see it? Coming back to your heart, love of mine. It's so cool. And then back to your heart, love of mine. And I thought that was sometimes we haven't talked about that really, but this is a perfect example. Sometimes those tags went real high when this is kind of a heartstrings thing, isn't it? I mean, this is kind of like, you're not going to shout on the top of the thing, please take me back or call me back. It's like you can, and you drew it back to your heart, love of mine, with that kind of unsettling chord that finally resolved. I mean, girlfriend, that is good stuff. Okay. Now, there are things that could make it even better if you look at measure, where are the measure bars? 60, 61. If you look at measure 61, can you see what you could make there in that measure?
Say, what did you say to do? It broke up.
Asking Liz what she would do if you just look at it right now and you see back to your heart. Which chord do you think could be possibly better?
I don't know, but I mean, you've got a major and then a minor and then a major triad. So do you want a seventh in there?
I was going for the bass going for back to your, bringing your up, going to your heart. See
Yeah.
that space.
Yeah.
Now there's a good example, Elizabeth, where we would just possibly want to go, just possibly.
Switch the bass and the tenor.
Okay, so if the baritone is on an E flat, yes, it is a seventh, isn't it? You have here a triad, and you need a seventh going into your heart. So let me hear you. Listen to this. That's what she has. This is what I'm suggesting.
Oh, sounds more barbershoppy. Yeah.
So
Nice.
in other words, it back to your heart, right? So let back to your heart. Let the baritone have an E flat there, and that goes on your. So it goes, yeah. Yeah, E flat, and then the bass on an B flat, and it makes a nice. It kind of all comes together then in a heart. Do you see the contrary motion there, everybody? Do you see contrary motion now?
Mhm.
Yeah. So we're one part moved down. That was the baritone, and that made it much better then. And into your heart, three parts moved up, but the tenor came down. You see? So
Something's always contrary. Yeah.
so you can always keep that there. Draw me back to your heart. I just wanted to hear that again because it's so cool. All right. Does that make sense, Liz?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just sometimes, when you see something for no good reason, that like the bass and the baritone are like an octave and a third apart, there may be an opportunity. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I could actually look at that chord because it did look a bit weird, but obviously I didn't know what to do with it.
Well, no, that's fine. I'm just saying, and sometimes you have you call me back. That may be what it needed to be. That sometimes you need that space, but in this particular case, it just sort of leapt out. It was going like, what could we do with that? All right.
Yeah.
So, girlfriend, there's some other things we could talk about with that, but it was so doggone good that we got to go.
Yeah. Good job.
All right.
Yeah. Are we on to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, we're on to Donna.
And again, Donna's on the intro thing that we're going to do. So we're not going to do. It's a nice, good job intro. I this lyric, "Sweet dreams of yesterday, calling me so. Why did I ever let you go?" Dang, girl, that is such a nice lyric, and so we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes when we look at intros and how I just tweaked that a little bit to um about chords and stuff. But anyway, but let's go on with what lovely things she did. I love it. Oh, let's talk about this a minute because I didn't know. You asked, do you put this, and you all change the titles. What is the correct thing for that, Jean? I just said you should put the title of the song and then put a subtitle under it, or is it the other way around?
Well, you put the title and then I would in parentheses put "Call Me Back, Valentine."
Put
Yeah.
put it underneath in like in italics or something like that. I don't
Yes.
think you put even subtitle. You just put. I'm
Right.
not
You just put
manuscript or not.
yes, I would just take away the word subtitle and put in parentheses "Call Me Back, Valentine."
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I didn't,
I didn't know.
I didn't know what to do there.
Yeah.
Jean will tell us the manuscript. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we're ready to hear this one, right? Okay, let's see. I may have to do this so we can follow it along better. I don't know what's wrong with this jumping tonight. Okay. Ah, shoot, I didn't fix that. Hold on. Darn it.
Does anybody need to stand up and stretch besides me?
Oh, I know. Come back. Was it MIDI? Okay. try this again. Yeah, we got that.
I changed that so many times that I couldn't, it would always find its way back to
Oh,
choir
that's
eyes.
yeah, that's weird. Okay. Let's try it again now. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, let me fix something here. The treble clef is doing swing and the bass clef is not. That is very strange. Wow. Let me go like
Donna,
this.
why did you choose to do the swing, put swing time up there? Do you?
I just didn't want it to be straight 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I didn't know what else to do with it.
Okay. Now let's start again. I think it'll play better. Didn't help much. I'll be darned, it's still doing that. I don't know why it didn't keep playing, but it should have.
Yay! I'm sorry. I was just was that complicated little rhythm there that we didn't mean. It's like it's hard to focus.
I know.
Da, 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 da. But how can you do that, Gene? That's amazing.
That is weird. That there's a glitch in this, yeah, because it shouldn't be able to.
Okay, all right, Donna. You had some really nice moments in that too. What did everybody think? Well, other than the tempo that drove us crazy, what else was, which was no fault of yours. It was
Yeah,
computer.
some kind of computer.
So, any other thoughts on that? Can you move up a little bit on the screen?
Which way?
Go to the next page.
Oh,
Yeah.
to the next page. You say up, I scroll. Yeah. Okay.
Nice, really nice lyrics into the tag, Donna.
Thank you.
Yeah. Really nice. Yeah. Let me dream once again. So, go to the next page, if you would, please. Let me live in your arms. So divine, so divine. So you had some nice, so divine, nice close harmony there. It's really close, but it's but it's very nice, really. Is your eyes, and you'll find paradise. We looked once again, 52. If you look at 52, there's an opportunity for a seventh there. You've got two roots and a, so what we hear is a kind of a hollow chord. You go, when we want to hear like, want to hear four chords, four notes, four different notes, I meant. So you've got here, or.
Can you start
Okay,
over,
I see that.
start
Or-
from here and go over?
Or this, it could be when you have paradise, you've got a nice closed voiced chord that went with the rest of yours, but there's four notes there instead of that. Just sounds like we want to hear that seventh, right? And
Yeah.
then because you pick it up in the next one, see, that's a beautiful little transition, Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but you needed that D flavor in that dice chord, because especially because it's a big chord, paradise, and you had a nice lead into it. I thought would have been real nice to come into that, a closed voicing.
Right, I see that.
Yep. Call me back. We have time. Tell me now that you'll be mine. I love that. And so, well, we were talking about where the tag should start, and I think, oh, I love you. There's no one like you, Valen. Oh, this is one of those that that chord that didn't seem to go together, right? Does it, Donna?
Are you at the last one on 59? Where I'm not sure where you
Where are
are.
you?
You've got bum 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 or something. It's sort of, it goes into, I don't know. It's another 3-part chord. That's what I wanted to hear you go there. You had Valentine. See, you know what I'm saying?
So what chord should it be instead?
Well,
Are
one
you
choice.
talking right here in 59?
Yeah, one choice would just be simply to hold the tenor, the lead, the baritone, and let the bass go bum 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 to make a chord that makes you want to hear the next thing, and then
Mhm.
you did like an I guess that's a what G9 or something, yeah. So bum bum bum, you had the good start, but you went dun dun, and your melody, we lost the melody because it went nine. I don't know why, right?
Okay. I was getting ready for the tenor to take it, but
Was that an accidental chord though? Because you've written diminished on the top, but it's not a diminished chord.
Yes, it's not. Thank you. That's right.
it was at one time. I guess I forgot to change that. Okay.
What was it? But whatever, it needed to have something that made us want to listen to the next thing, and this doesn't kind of leave us there. I think if you were going to do Valentine, my Valentine, if you're going to repeat the Valentine, then my Valentine or something, give it there. So I want to talk about Dawn and I had a conversation about this because she is a tenor, and so she wanted the tenors to soar. But I want to hear what you all thought about where the tenor went up to next to what is it at the very beginning, right?
Yes, at the beginning.
The second page. And so I want to talk about that. If we could go to the second page, Jean.
Okay, I just want to mention for manuscript, when you have used fermatas, it should be one above the tenor note and something below the bass note. So you have it above the baritone note.
Oh, I
know?
sure do. Okay.
Yeah, well, I just switched these two for you. So
Oh, I
because
see.
you'll get dinged on that for your
Okay.
manuscript if you put those in the wrong spot. Okay, so
Okay.
now
I
I
knew
can
there was
go.
a rule, and by the time I got to this, I was so tired. I just thought, okay, they go somewhere. I'm not sure where. So it's above,
I remember
above the,
Gene.
Yeah, it's
above
on the
tenor.
outside of the staff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
I've never put one below the base. I should probably start doing that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you look up there what Donna has, just a voice ringing clear. And I asked her about that. And actually, she said, well, I'm a tenor and I wanted to sing that. Well, that's good. There's, nothing wrong with that. But if you're up that high, then the rest of the parts need to get up there too. It's all, there's too much,
Too much space.
yeah, there's too much space there, but
Yeah, right here.
or something like that. But I think it might be a lovely moment, but that is too early in a song to send the tenors up somewhere.
Yeah,
That's something that we save for the end, like
yeah, at the reprise or something. Yeah.
But this is right. We haven't gotten to the chorus yet, and we've already got the tenors up in the clouds.
Okay.
All due respect to tenors, and I am one, I think it's a little too soon. Now, what's really cool is when you went after clear, which of course is a hollow chord. Do you hear it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could be something else. But anyway, then you have, oh, lovely. How I. That needed the seventh too. You needed the seventh in that chord. Seventh all the way through there. And you had the right idea. And another seventh. And then I would go right to the C7. Because this chord, listen to this, everybody. Where do you want to go? You want to go, don't you? You don't want to go. We don't want to resolve that to C, do we? Do you hear what I'm saying? You hear that?
Well, the reason when I first sent it to you, I didn't even go to the C7 and 24 because looking at the very next note is the B natural. And I thought, okay, well, that would be a hard thing to do. But every time I sang it, I had no problem hitting it. So I thought, well, maybe that's okay.
It's the melody. It's call me. Yeah. If a lead can't hit that, get another one. Sorry, that was really unkind. But truthful. But yeah, this is right. You want a seventh going into the chorus just as you want it going into the verse, which yeah. So yeah, it had just little things like that. Just feel that word that's going all the way through. You want to keep the flavor. Oh, how I miss you so. We wanted that seventh all the way through. So it was nice.
Okay. Okay. I got so confused with doing this that I remembered it was supposed to be 5-7-1, and so I'm thinking, okay, well, what's the 5 and 7? Do they mean a chord built on the 7th tone of the scale? And I got so confused with all this. So you mean a C7?
I'm glad I don't talk that language because it would just make me confused. I understand. I understand things built on that, but I never think about it when I'm doing it. I do it totally by ear. But I understand people that you do it that way. Sometimes you just have to let your ear take over and just say, this is what I want to hear. And it's probably going to be right.
That's exactly, that's what this whole lesson should be about. You all have those skills. You
Yes.
all know the rules. Now you got to use your barbershop ear to make it right. You're so sometimes so hung up on the rules. Just let your barbershop ear take over. That's what's going to make you a good arranger and a consistent barbershop arranger. Yeah.
Can I ask a question about the tenor jumps? Because I always try, like, I'm not a tenor, but obviously, so Donna's jumps that she's got in there, I probably wouldn't put in because I thought you're only supposed to go a third. So like in bar 17, going from a B to an E, and then bar 19, she's gone from the C to the F. Is that okay for tenors?
C to an F is a fourth.
Yeah, that would be fine. That would be fine.
The reason it works here is because it's the same chord. C chord, C chord, that could be a C7.
Those
also.
intervals, okay. I had it drilled in my head that I'm only supposed to move them like within a third,
Uh,
the tenors.
third or a fourth, yeah. And the way, anytime it would be more than that, might be because it's the same chord 2 times in a row with different voicings.
Right.
You know, and here's another thought on what you're saying there. If in fact there is another, this isn't bad, but this may be stronger if the tenor was longing to hear, if it goes underneath it, so it goes. And everybody stayed closer to home. So in other words, if you put the tenor on B flat, lead on the C, and the baritone on the E, and the bass on the G.
Yep.
There you go. It looks a little more singable too. Are you gonna move that one over? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just so we can see it.
Yeah,
Oops.
there
I moved the wrong one. In the wrong layer there.
So, to Liz's point, and is that that's a smoother transition for all singers. The baritone, longing to hear, right? Longing to hear, then longing to hear, because it does throw them into another part of their voice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. And so anyway, it's just a little smooth. It has nice contra motion. Once again, we had before most parts moving up, but the bass held, so it wasn't wrong. But this is a stronger way to do it. May everybody get that? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I see.
Okay. Good. All right. Thanks. You guys ask the best questions because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
teaching moment. Oh, goody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to talk about that intro later. Does anybody have anything else that we want to do with we want to count. We're going to encourage you all to count the measures. We're not doing that maybe tonight, but make sure that you remember the form. So if you have like a chorus, if it's 8 or 16, then you have a something else that's here and you come back, because getting into these tags, you're going to want to know, sometimes they've rambled on. I mean, like the measures, if you've got 72 measures instead of 64, you've got 98 or whatever. And in this one, I think Donna's went on beyond. If we could go to the end real,
I'll wait to 62. All right.
No, yeah, it is, but I meant go up to a page, please. So let me live in your arms, let me thrill with your charms, let me kiss, it's a swift,
Oh, yeah.
So that's 8. Call me back, we have time, tell me now that you'll be mine. I always love you, da 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 da.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's it.
Yeah.
I always love you. Go to 4. Yeah. I always love you. There's no one like you. That's the end of your 8. So your tag can't start until you get to the end of your 8, Donna. So
it
your
would
tag
be
actually starts on Valentine. You see what I mean?
Oh, it doesn't start with "I always love you."
No, because you have that's part of your chorus. It's hard with the pages not together there, but
Okay.
That's why I started at 41 and you count 8 bars and you go to there and then the next 8 bars start at 49, right?
Mm-hmm.
49, you go see. So there's 1 at 49 and 52, 51, 3, 52, 4. Come, where'd it go?
Oh, there must be another line. Oh, there is.
Back. We have
Mhm.
time. Tell me now that you'll be mine. Why did I just count that wrong just right now? Oh, maybe it was. Maybe I did. Maybe I counted it wrong. Okay. I'll always love you. Okay, good. Then, okay, go back up there. I was counting wrong. Sorry, my bad.
I had a lot of trouble with this because I wrote, I don't know how many different tags I wrote. They all blended together in my mind, so I don't know.
6-bar tag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right?
Right. So it should be
It looks
4 or
like-
8. Yeah.
8. And if you did that, love you. There's no one like you. Valentine.
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah, don't repeat Valentine, Valentine. Just go Valentine or something. Then
Yeah.
you
Okay.
got a clean 4-bar tag.
Right.
Okay.
Sometimes we just try to carry too much. It's like, oh, let's make this even more interesting. Well, take those 2 and put the best of them together and come up with one. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Are we on? Any more questions about this one before we move on?
Now we're
I
going
have
to
a question.
Okay.
Was that me speaking? My computer made a funny noise. Was that me or did I talk over somebody? This is Elizabeth.
You're right.
and
Okay. So Donna's use of the pickups is, I thought I was hearing that we really ought to make our pickups more inclusive of all of the
yeah, we
all
talked
of the
about that.
voices.
We talked about
Yes.
that a couple
Oh,
times.
so we do want that, right? We want more
Yes.
voices.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
right.
Okay, now we're coming to the most, the coolest lyric line. And you have to know, Emily, when we were first doing this, and when it gets to that place, Jean goes out and she says, "Well, that doesn't rhyme." I said, "Go back and do it again. Just say it." And she does it, and she said, "Well, it's like," and I went, "Oh, I get it." It was
I'm a little slow.
just like, that doesn't rhyme at all. And I went, "Oh my God." That was so cute. So listen, we're gonna listen to this now. And you have almost two different songs here. You have a verse that has me going, I don't know what is going on with this verse. And then you get to the chorus, it's like, oh, okay, I'm there with you. So I'm gonna want you to talk about what were your where we were with that
Sure.
thinking today, okay?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, first I can't even get past the lyrics because I'm laughing. But then once I start listening, I was like going, oh, okay.
Can I just say that Emily's quartet would really nail that song, like the personality of her quartet would be
Perfect.
I
that
know.
song.
Great. It's a great comedy song.
Yeah, they've got a real diva for their
Yes.
lead, and she would
Yes,
be
they do.
perfect.
She is
Yeah.
something, isn't she? All right. So first, we're gonna have to clean up that verse a little, maybe.
Hang in there. Wait a minute. Should have been doing this ahead of time.
Well, I can't think of everything, Jean.
Yeah, you want me to do all this and pay attention to what you're saying. It's like, oh, I'm getting too old for that. Okay. All right. Here we go. Bravo. So
Oh,
clever.
very
Oh
well.
my gosh, so
Everybody
clever.
think. What are your thoughts?
I don't, that just is amazing to me. That was very, very clever lyrics, cleverly done. And in listening to it, there are parts that are very barbershoppy, and there are parts that I don't know, kind of went off the tracks or something. Am I the only one that noticed that when you listen to the chords? I don't know.
Would this be contestable?
Well,
Could it be contestable?
it probably could be. Yeah. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
public domain song. I think it'd be really cute.
yeah, be cute. What did anybody else think then?
Funny lyrics. I like the lyrics.
Yeah.
Funny, they're great.
It had some phrases in there I want to copy and study so that I can learn how to do chord progressions because I thought they sounded really good.
Yeah.
So, let's just take a look here at this verse, at the thinking today of my um, just anyway. Yeah, it goes. There it was.
Yeah. Of my.
That
Mm.
it sounds like it goes from one key to the next. Do you hear it?
Tell me your thought process on those chords, Emily.
Oh, I think it was just what I heard in my ear. I liked him
Oh.
sevenths too much.
Well, I love them too. I just didn't think, in general. And here's one of those that we left one complete chord to another complete chord.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, yeah. There's nothing to to make those, and particularly, I might just say for a pickup, maybe within a thing, but of my crush, those things need to be like absolutely smooth because your singers don't have time to figure out where the heck am I, so that you've got to make
Yeah.
of my crush, and they go of my crush. Let's see.
Yeah. It's
Crush.
just
When you take, everybody's going up a whole step and then down a half step, or some are going up a half step and then down a whole, it's like that becomes a real tuning problem. And
Sure.
so maybe your quartet could do it, but just as a word to applying for things like that, probably make that a little smoother. Just make it a,
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I just had G. I think I just had G minor, and it sounded a bit boring. I think the reason, sorry, I did this verse ages ago. I think it was because the idea I had for the verse was that it starts to sound like a classic rubato ballad, and then it becomes this ridiculous song. So the first time you get a sense that it's going to go in a different direction is with the lyric crush. So I thought with the rubato interp, you could go with my crush, and it's almost like the chord that's a slightly different chord is the cue that you're about to go somewhere novel. But maybe I should just simplify it to the G minor and just let the lyrics do the novelty.
yeah.
And here's the other thing, everybody. Those are little words. I'm thinking today, my crush far away, of my. We don't want to spend time worrying about how we're going to.
Yeah.
Of my crush. We just want to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Of my. Just make it as simple. Make those little pickups with the little words. That's something more complicated. Another thing when you're going, whom I met. I love the whom I. That's so good. For an English teacher, that's really good. Message, when you go, oh, my message just seconds ago, when you go, I think I don't think you need to say seconds. I think it would be really fun. Go ago. If
Yeah.
seconds ago, ago.
Oh no, or something. Yeah. Yeah.
So it goes back, it goes right to the little, we're playing with you now, okay? And then here's a nice place for a duet. Nice. Perfect to do that. I am longing to hear just a voice, oh, here you go. Another one. Just a ping.
See, I would just do the regular G minor again
G
on
minor
this.
again.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
Just a ping, just a ping or something. But this after, and once again, it's the pickup. Maybe your ping is fine, but just needs to be simple. Just a
Sure.
ping. We want to hear the
Maybe you
ping.
want ping to be a weird chord, maybe. I don't know, but
Well, I was
not-
going to ask you, would it be, so simplifying it to the G minor there, would it be acceptable just to not have a chord there and have the tenor going, and then everybody else come back in on ringing?
No. Ringing.
probably.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
a ping ring. Yeah, some sort of good, ringing clear. Oh how I want you so. Oh how I want you so. Again, want you so. So or something. Or I don't know. Be a little more. Oh, I want you so. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Want you
Just,
so.
just a so or something.
You,
Or
if there was just so would be fine. I mean, maybe just the bass. Want you so, but yeah, maybe that's just
Yeah. I think I had the bass of my comedy quartet in my head going, 1, 2, so. So I think
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
just a bass solo would be funnier.
Yeah.
And that's where I would put the fermata. Want you so, want you so. Yeah, let that one hold. Then text me. I love that part.
Yeah. So just a reminder what we told Donna about the fermatas. Like this fermata right here should be underneath the bass note, and this one should be underneath the bass note.
Dang little things.
Yeah, 'cause that'll you don't want things running into each other. And I know that's picky, but that can help you get a 5, the highest score in your manuscript if you have all these little details right.
You
Those
want them all
fermatas are
lined up.
correct. In the music I printed out, the fermatas are correct.
Oh,
Yeah,
It
they've
must
all
be-
moved.
oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
You'd want them all lined up even in a row too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
question.
they should just go that way, but okay.
I have a question about the manuscript things.
Uh-huh.
Are we following exactly what the BHS has printed in their instruction manual about notating barbershop arrangements?
I don't think you should follow BHS. You should follow the Sweet Adeline manuscript stuff.
Has Sweet Adeline's published some kind of a manuscript
Well,
instruction?
there's an arranger's guide that talks about manuscript. Do you have the Sweet Adeline's arranger's guide?
I do. But
There's
it doesn't go into the same detail that BHS does. BHS talks about like the, bold and the words have to be italicized for this particular circumstance and where anything has to be.
Yeah, we could do a lot better at that.
I'm sorry?
I said we could do a lot better with that, Elizabeth. Sweet Adeline's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, our instructions for that aren't. Yeah.
I would love to have a copy of that so we can see. Is that?
It's the one that I emailed the group a few months ago, Jean.
Oh, my earbuds.
Shine on Harvest Moon as an example in the back. Emily, is that it?
Yeah, that's the one. So Elizabeth, most of the sort of minutiae stuff is quite helpful because it does go into that higher level of detail than Sweet Ads, and it's sort of typical manuscript stuff. This stuff about what should be bold and which font and stuff is just about the standards for BHS publication, just like Sweet Ads has their own notation standards. So I wouldn't worry too much about the font sizes and the bold and this, that, and the other, but all the other stuff is quite helpful because I would say, Jean, that it's pretty much in keeping with a lot of the manuscript rules for SAO.
Oh, good. Yay.
But I don't believe
Well-
I've ever
well-
seen anything from Sweet Adeline's detailing, giving instructions as to all of this stuff. Are you
That-
saying it's in the manual, Jean?
Well, there is a chapter. I haven't looked at it in ages. There is a chapter in the arranger's manual that talks about manuscript, but I think it was written back in the dark ages before computers.
Yeah,
So,
it-
and I know they're working on revising the arranger's guide. So hopefully there'll be something more detailed like that in the future.
yes.
Mm.
Can you,
Emily, what was the name of what? I don't remember getting an email with something like that.
I'll resend it to the group now. Then it's easy to find.
Okay, thank you. That'd be great.
Okay.
No worries.
Jean, can you,
Yeah, so just the stuff we went over in the finale class that I did and stuff, is the way Sweet Airlines does a lot of that stuff.
say you covered a lot of that, I think, but
Yeah.
maybe not everything. Can you go to the page that has her key change, please? And
Okay.
if we could put up side by side that fixes thing that I sent you.
Oh, okay. Hold
Yeah,
on a sec.
so this is a fine key change for something, but I wouldn't be doing this for your admission because see,
Oh, wait, there's two of them, huh?
yeah, that's a pretty abrupt key change. And in general,
Wait.
it's okay to I mean
Oh, yeah, this Be Mine. Yeah.
so be mine because nothing is the same in from the mine to the be, which is where you need the connector thing. So if you can, Jean, if you can pull up that.
I'm working on it. Hold on. I got to.
Well, I just put one for everybody to see that what I was talking about with the common tones. We need to have a nice. Was it no Liz? No, it was Liz. You had the key change, right? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yes, yours had the common tones in there. We probably should take a look at that too. But this is important that we.
Oh, I know what I need to do. Hold on here.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I shrunk the wrong thing, so now I got to go back and fix it. Hold on. That up and make this small.
If you look at this, Em, and you're going to sing a regular group going like mine be mine. That's a big ask. To go mine up a half step, up a whole step, and for the bass is to go mine be mine. That's a big, particularly the lead. Then mine be mine, that's a big ask. So because nothing holds anything together, but if we have a
Common tone, is that the word you're looking for?
Yes, common tone.
yeah, I'm sorry.
You're thinking about you have to do thinking about for a C-level group. That would be a hard key change for them to hear. So you want to try to keep a common tone, in the pivot chord or whatever you want to call it.
Like it says, maintain a common tone in any of the four voices between the last chord and the of the old key and the down chord of the new key.
I just look back at mine and I don't have a common tone, but the mine, I've just got the leads singing an E flat on B and everyone else stays on their mine, and then they change on bar 48 to the next chord. So I've got, so the mine is one chord, then the B, I only had the leads moving down, and then mine, everybody changed. But I think maybe with the leads going to the chord in the middle, that helped people switch over to the new key. Like it was most people only had to use 2 chords there instead of 3.
I don't know. Okay, where it is. Okay, so if you look at
We'll get back to that, Liz. Hold on. We'll get back to what you said.
I can't hear. Okay.
What did you want me to do with this now?
No, I was going for Elizabeth, or for um, Emily's,
Intro?
Emily's key change. It's below Donna's intro.
Oh. Okay. Oh, there wasn't any. Okay, you need to is this it? Sweet dream.
No,
See, I only got these 3 things.
there.
Were there 4 things? Oh, here it is up here. Okay.
Okay.
This?
So yes. So
Okay.
if you look at this, M, you've got B mine, and then you go right to the E flat. Now everybody can hear where they're supposed to go.
Well, you lost me.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Where are we supposed to be on a different page for this?
No, you're right there it says M's key change. Okay.
Right, I see that. But what about what's over here?
You've gone back to Donna's, I think.
Oh, that's what happened. Okay, thank you. Here we go. There's Emily's. Okay, yes, it bounced
I
crazy.
went to change hers and I changed it, and then I realized that I didn't save it as the original, and so I'm bad. Okay, so here's M's right there, 47, if you see it, right?
Yeah, right here.
Yep. And then it goes to get to that key change, which, as I said, is a stretch. And so this is one possibility for another way to do the key change, which is to start with the E flat chord, and then everybody moved up to in the E flat chord in the bass, baby mine, and then that takes you to your key. Okay? Do you get that? The reason I did the E flat with the bass, mine, be mine, is because if I didn't, mine, be, everything jumps up and it doesn't have any home tone. This keeps the home tone, and now it comes up, be mine. Everybody can hear where they're going because, yeah. I can't see.
I'm trying to do what she said. So what'd you say about the bass?
So yeah, well, I'm just saying the bass has a moving thing there. Were you changing something?
Well, I'm trying to keep the lead on a common. Isn't that what you just said? Because you could keep the lead on the E flat for both chords, because D7, I mean D sharp is the new, you put one of those little same note things.
Well, okay, but be mine is a lead line, okay? So otherwise the baritone goes, mine, be, mine, right? So we don't need that, mine. So mine, be mine is a very singable lead line. Be mine, right?
Oh, that's true. I was just gonna go,
if you wanted to keep the lead on the E
mine.
flat, mine.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, I just said this was one possibility to get there.
Gotcha. Okay.
What Jean has is another one. So mine, be, so be mine. So the baritone can go up there either way. But the important thing is that there are common tones there. In order to make that key change, it's very simple then for everyone to make the key change. Otherwise, everybody has to pick up and take their suitcases and all move someplace else without, without a water bottle between them. So, but anyway, I just thought it sounded like a lead. I was thinking of pal of mine, be mine, or whatever is a pal of mine. But so it could be either way. You could hold that across there for the lead, and that's very common to do. Or you could do, I just had, and I thought it was interesting to put in keeping with Emily's thing, be mine, make it exciting and let the bass have something cool to do because it's like, hey, look at me, I made a key change. And
Is that it? Did that do it? We lost the word B, but is
okay.
that what you were saying? What did I do? I didn't.
No, I think everybody saw what I was, it was mine.
You know what, Judy? You talk so fast, and to not visually see it makes it confusing. Or at least it does for me.
That's okay. That's all right. Yeah.
So help me. Is this what? Are all these notes correct from what you were saying, or not yet?
It was correct originally, Jean. So if you just undo all the changes, it was how it was at the beginning.
Well,
there you go.
at the beginning, your original does not go up to G, though. Do you know what I'm saying? I was trying to write what she was saying.
That's it. That's it right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Got it. Okay. Oh, okay. Jeez, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm just brain dead. That's why you did it ahead of time. Duh. Sorry.
Okay. I just wanted everybody to see that how that can work for a key change like that. See?
Gotcha.
As Jean was saying, you could also do it with leaving the lead on the E flat. If you didn't want the lead line to change there, and take the baritone up, but that mine, be mine which is not a hard jump, but I just thought this was smooth because this way we just gave a little movement to it with the bass. And
Judy, instead of slurring the bass, because I really liked what you did before with the bass on the movement instead, could you tie the E flat across and have them holding the mine vowel while everyone else moved to B, and then move to B on the pickup? Or would that be a bit messy vowel wise?
I don't think so. I just think you could do that, or you could have it be mine, please be mine.
Yes, that would work better. Please be mine or something.
That note, and it would be on a different. It still rhymes with B, but please be, and then she's lined up with it. Mine to leave just makes it a little more exciting. So
nice.
It's an opportunity to have a little fun with an embellishment, something like that. Just a very simple embellishment, but it accomplishes several things so that your bass doesn't go go if everybody goes up to if it goes up to the B flat, then we had everybody moving up, and it doesn't have a holding zone kind of thing. And if the bass stays down, then goes up. That's all. Okay? Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. Sorry that got so confusing. Jean was trying to help me.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Okay, so as long as you got Abby's is up there.
Okay.
Abby, I just wanted to say I loved it. I gotta say, you're the one that got away. And what you had on your original one, all I did with that was change the Larry. Oh, you got it up there? Okay, good. Oh, I didn't know if that was easy to do or not. So I gotta say, if you look at it, all I did was see. Oh, different key. I gotta say, you're the one that got away, is what you had. And you ended it on a 7th, which is good. And all I did was, I gotta say, you're the one that got away. Let the lead take command. The one that got away is more powerful than one that got away, right? Does everybody hear that?
Yeah. How did you figure that out? I mean, how did you, what was your thought process, Judy, to make that come out that way?
M has on one that, and I thought, I want to hear everybody come up to, instead of one that got away, but one that got away. I generally think in terms of where do I want my bass to be? So she's got that you're the one that got away, or one that got away. So, all I wanted to do was going, okay, so my lead line needs to present. It's more in the lead's belt place too. The one that got away instead of one that got away. Yeah, and so I just
Yeah.
here's from one that got away to one that got away, which
Yeah. Cool.
bum. And so what you did wasn't wrong. I'm just trying to have you think outside the box a little bit to say where's the strongest place we can be for an intro. What you did was fine. This just gives you another idea. And then MU had the tenor go, call me, and then the lead takes that. If the tenor goes, call me back, then whoever started that needs to continue. You can't have one part start part of a melody and then the next part take it.
Yeah, I found this really challenging with the as everyone else found this challenging as well, all these little twiddly chromatic pickups. So that was just one. Yeah. So you think it should go the whole phrase or at least just finish call me back?
Call back, call me. Yeah, I would just go into your everybody. Call me back. I just, yeah. Once you've held that out there, she's got it. Call me back or call me back, whatever you want to, but definitely keep the lead involved. It's another time maybe give the tenor something, but when it's the hook of the song, you want that to stay in the lead line, right?
Okay.
But whatever part has it, it has to be more than two notes. Call me, because we're confused already because she's going, call me, and the lead goes back, So I'm going to keep that in the same thing. But it was a cute little thing. I got to say, you're the one that got away. Really fun. And there was something a little more like one that got away, but one that got away, sort of like, It had more of a attitude to it. You know what a is, right? Okay, good. So, any questions on that? Anybody? And these are only ladies. This was not anything bad, and nobody did anything bad. I just wanted to. Now let's look at just a little bit of Donna's. She had the beautiful lyric line, "Sweet dreams of yesterday," but you had a funky chord on it. And all I did was change that chord to an F chord because it's in the key of F. So now it goes, dreams of yes. Where is it here? Oh, mine's coming up. Oh, I was looking at her. Oh, yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday. So once again, instead of taking the tenor up high, sweet dreams of yesterday, and leaving it down. So the melody stayed the same. I just harmonized it to keep it down. And then she can go to her calling me home. Calling me home. I would have taken the bass out. So she had, which I thought was a little incongruous. So it feels like it wants to go to F. Yeah?
Yes.
And then I just took your today, same melody, and just revoiced what you had. I just revoiced it. Because even though you're a tenor, and I know you want the tenor to go out there. And that's all I did was just fix that little part there, because sometimes we need to look and see, maybe what's wrong is I don't have the right chord. And let's see what key we're in. Maybe we needed to go back to that key. So, okay. All right. My goodness, it's 5:57. Is everybody still breathing?
Yeah, really. Like,
Jean,
yes.
would you please can you send us these PDFs so that we can have for our records these changes, these edits that Judy has suggested for us?
Okay, you mean this page that says fixes?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah, I can send that to you. Yep.
That would be very helpful to me. Thank you.
I called them
Okay.
fixes. I should have called them ideas.
Well, no, I get, yeah,
In case maybe that
yeah.
was because that was to show a key change that is acceptable when you want to apply for a scholarship. So
Yeah.
you know,
Is it equally acceptable in a key change to just have everybody move up a half tone?
Well, it really should transition better than just moving up a half tone.
Okay.
There
Okay.
should be some other kind of something going on. Yep.
there are things like that. I suppose you know. I think we've seen them.
It's possible, but
It's possible. I mean, but you know,
It's not as good though.
yeah.
right.
Just,
Right.
once you start playing around with it a little bit and saying, okay, um, somebody needs to stay home, and now where do I want to go to, and you just just sort of just play with it, but somebody needs to stay home, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind looking back at my key change? Because I didn't have anybody staying home in mine, but you thought it was a good key change. And I just want to check
Okay.
why what I did was okay.
Okay. Let me get back to that. Hold on.
Oh, good. Here, see.
Minutes. What is that? Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Yes, you.
All right. This is the one we were looking at, right? Do you know what measure it was?
47.
You. Yeah.
There it is.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I've got everybody locked out here. I was looking at her thing. Okay.
Just a minute. I'm getting to it.
Yeah, it's there.
There. All right.
So what you did, if you took your little E flat out of there, you have mine. So it does go together. It's you have A flat in the baritone, and that's where the bass is going. You've got F and F here, and that's where the baritone is going. The only
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
you do it
So
does
yeah, you could have had the lead just stay on the F all the way across there and had this part be, you know, in the baritone or something. But that's the common tone. Yeah.
you have the F in the three parts, or there's two parts over here and then an F over here, and
Okay.
basically they're flopping. The A flat is in the chord, and then the baritone. Basically, hear that clearly, right?
And that's why that worked. Yeah.
Yeah, it all
Because
works
they hear those notes over here.
all in the
Okay.
and it yeah, and so. There's your it leads into it.
Yeah. Very clever. I mean, that was really good. Yeah.
And that's
Awesome.
kind of one of those little rocking things you're talking about. This little I'm missing a note here. Wait, that's not right.
Yeah. Then all they have to do is rock. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for bringing this up. Here's the problem with this thing, and it happens, not the mind, it's the call. And you're right, that is, it needs to rock. Mine needs to go down a half step, everybody. And you took
All of these have to go down a half step, right?
everything, yeah. Everything goes down a half step. Call me back, because you've established the new key, but then this thing didn't work. No, you're right.
Right.
This is good, and then you had that doesn't work. So everybody rocking down a half step and back up a half step give you a lot of comfort when you're doing these little transition things like that. When the lead goes, call me, da-da-da, perfect place to do. Everybody rock down. I'm sorry. Call me
Yeah. Okay.
Right there. Does everybody understand that?
Mhm.
So, thank you, Liz, for saying that, because you made the key change, but then I forgot to mention the fact that the call wasn't right.
Ah.
You're gonna go, well, that sounds funny. Yeah. But I know what you meant, I guess. And you got there, and then it's just a matter of doing that little rocking thing. That was so nice, though.
And this really helps the leads, you know, get right into that and accurately. Yeah. Cool.
Yep, yep, there we go. Does everybody understand what we're just talking about there? That she made the key changes fine, but then the transition thing on the call me just needed a little revision there.
Well, that's good to know. I'm glad I asked.
Yes, I'm glad you did too. I was like going, oh, how did I miss that? Well, I'm sure that we missed a lot, but it's a lot to take in, ladies.
Yeah.
You work really, and you do so well, and and yet we're supposed to point out things and to try and help you to go farther and to see where there might be. So sorry if we didn't get them all, and hope what we did was good. So okay, and you can play ours. We won't bother to play ours right now, but you've got them, so you can play.
I couldn't open yours, Judy. It kept saying incorrect file format or something.
Mine too. And I did not receive one from Jean.
Yeah.
Jean, did you do
I didn't send mine
one? Okay.
because it's not all the way done. I didn't finish it last time, and I didn't remember that I didn't finish it last time till like this week. And it's like, there's no way I can get that done now.
But I played yours, Judy, on my piano. I love yours. It's wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Well, it had some little ideas in there for you, and as did Jane's, you bum.
Yeah.
As far as it went, it didn't even.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it didn't play, huh? You guys didn't get it. Well,
I'll look at that and figure out how to send it so it'll play. It opened up okay, but it just wouldn't play.
It wouldn't open.
It wouldn't open. Okay.
I can play it for you. Do you want me to play it for you? Huh?
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll play it for you. Okay. Let me see this here. I have to tell you about this light. This light, I needed a light for my little keyboard over here, so I got this light, and it came with this thing, and it has these settings. And I looked at the settings. I thought, what is this one? It has a setting for coffee, for reading.
Oh yeah, we have one of those for rocking the baby, feeding the baby its baby bottle.
For nursing the baby. There's a baby bottle on this. Oh,
yes. Yeah, that same layout. Yes.
I thought that was hysterical. Okay. I'll have to turn pages, but okay. So this is.
Okay, we probably should show this on the screen, huh?
Oh, I don't know how.
Get Judy up there. Hold on a second here. What happened? Ding. Oh, I don't have it on here. Okay, I'd have to go.
Okay, well, I think, okay.
Yeah, go.
And now you're going to hear a similarity.
I've got the music in front of me. I'm happy if you just play it.
Yeah, just play it.
I dream of the days when we were more than friends. I'm thinking today of a far away. Sorry.
Oh, I just found it. I
And
just
this
found
was
the copy of
this
it.
was that was the soft ending. Then this was the alternate. Back to your dreams, love of mine. I miss you, my friend. And my love was again. Make my dreams untrue. Damn it.
Nice.
Okay. So I could send you what I got Judy's to open, so I'll send it as a PDF at least, and then I'll try to send it again as an MUS, and I'll send you my halfway done. I didn't get very much of it done. It's very similar to Judy's though, and that's funny because we don't. I don't check hers, and she doesn't check mine. We just do it, and then we compare them and go, "Oh my gosh!" Lots of places the same. Yeah.
Anyway, that would be some ideas for you there. Some if you had some little transition things, the little pickup things, the little simple things, and whatever like that. And so, and a couple different ideas for tag. I think in general, you'd have to have a play around with them. I like to have a couple tags brewing, and then maybe one of them more. So, all right, you guys.
Judy, can I ask you a couple questions, or should I ask you questions about your arrangement another time?
Oh, do it now. What the heck?
Okay, I would love to do that. Okay, so when we look at words, what moves this up? Okay, starting with measure 14, with just a voice, the word just. I believe that most of us chose the C chord there, and you chose, I guess it was the you chose the ninth chord, is it? Or is it G? Is that B flat minor? B
Just
flat
a
minor
voice?
6, right? B flat minor 6 right there on just in measure 14.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Did you do that so that you could kind of create contrary movement on just because the chords?
Well,
I thought that was really lovely.
yeah, it creates interest. It's easy
Yes.
to instead of dum bum bum bum. That's why I say if you get an opportunity to do something that's that adds a little interest, and it certainly yeah, I did it for interest. I did it for, and obviously for contrast. Thank you. You get extra dollars for telling my story, contrasting motion and stuff like that.
Contrary motion. Yeah.
Okay. And then in measure 21, is that the Barry E there? Is that supposed to be an E flat? What had you intended there?
In 21?
In 21, the Barry note on PAL,
Yeah?
is that supposed to be an E flat?
No.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
otherwise you have a major 7th chord there, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you mean for that to be a flat, right?
Correct. It should be an E flat.
Okay.
She played it that way, probably. How your fingers just do it automatically. Yeah.
No, I did it as a passing tone as a major ninth.
Oh, did you?
Oh, you did?
So
So,
you wanted the E natural.
because it goes,
Okay.
it doesn't take up much space in our hard drive, but it
Oh.
mine. I thought it's a nice little very move. It kind of created interest. It goes it's a quick move. I wouldn't do it I wouldn't hold a chord like that, but it's the same as we talked about the 7th on something. If it takes us someplace, it's a nice duet. So it's just a moment on a major 7th with the bass, but the rest of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I was just trying to clarify whether you intended that for that to be an E natural.
But
It's probably not the best choice of a chord for a held chord, but as a passing chord, for a little interest, that's all.
Okay, and then at measure 54, when you have voiced the bass down on a C.
I sure did.
Yeah. But is that acceptable to do because you provided an alternate as well?
I sure did. Yeah.
Okay, but is it the alternate that makes that acceptable?
it's a low
Well,
C. What measure did you say?
Measure 54.
Oh,
Yeah.
over here.
In other words, if you can't sing that one, then sing the other one.
Right. Yes.
Is this hers? Wait a minute now. I don't see that on mine.
54.
Isn't this 54 right here?
Oh, I think you're looking at the alternate tag.
53,
You're looking at the
54.
alternate tag right now?
Oh, okay. Gotcha. It's on here too. I see.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
And
Yay,
I'm just
there it
talking
is.
about the C there because I thought that I heard you say at the beginning of close to the beginning of the course that you wouldn't want us to arrange anything lower than a D for our basses. But there are instances when we can go as low as a C. We can.
Sure.
Well, there's no rule against using a low C. But look, she had an alternate
I know.
voice
Well,
in there.
but that's why I'm asking, is it much more acceptable when you provide an alternate?
Well, I don't know. Reedy never did, and she was always taking basses to C. But
Yeah.
but I just thought it's a beautiful moment. If
Oh, it
you've
is.
got a bass, you can sing it. If you don't, then this will be a yeah. This will
That's lovely.
a nice little alternate. So it's just there for you. In your case, Elizabeth, you had one of those. If you would take where you put the bass on a G, I would have done the same thing with you. I was going to suggest you put that bass on a low C and put an alternate note there. Then it's an option there, and so yeah, you wouldn't very often spend a lot of time there, but sometimes bass that just doesn't even have that could go oh, is going to love it, and they're going to find a way to learn to sing the darn thing because they can. And if they don't have it, pal of mine, then
Yeah.
so yes, that's perfectly acceptable to do. I don't know if I manuscripted it right, Jean, with the alternate, but
Oh.
maybe it's supposed to go in parentheses or something.
Yeah, it's supposed to go in parentheses. That's okay.
Yes.
They get your drift. Yep.
And then when we look at the alternate tag there,
Yeah.
measure 57 going into 58, I noticed that all of those chords are moving downward. Every single voice is moving downward. And is there and it is lovely. I love it. But that's an instance where it sounds to me like there's no problem with them moving down. It doesn't sound awkward or anything. So if it doesn't sound awkward, is it acceptable?
Step, Elizabeth. It's down a half step.
Oh, they're chromatic.
Everything is going down a half step.
True pal of mine, right here, you mean?
True.
Oh, I thought you meant come true.
Come true, pal of mine. Don't all four of those chords, everybody is stepping down.
Yes. Yep.
Come true, except the berry's not stepping. The
Just
berry's
say there's
stepping.
no contrary motion there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's every reason to think that's probably not okay then.
Actually, it's for it's okay to do that. She did that for an effect for this tag.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah.
So it's kind of like what we said before. You know this. You have the skills. You know the rules. Now that you know the rules, there's always you can always. I shouldn't say you can always break the rule.
No.
What?
I have um I have two notes the same. Doesn't anybody notice that now? There's a B flat missing in my chord.
Oh,
Yes, in the PAL, that's the other thing.
Yeah. So
aha.
string
Uh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
supposed to be the lead no, it's the lead that sings the B flat.
Oh, okay.
Dreams come true, pal of mine. Or you could have pal of mine if you want to leave the baritone up there, but then they have to go like that. I was going to have the lead do it, and I just didn't write it. Sorry. Pal of mine. So, there's a cross relationship. I give that to you.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's not a good transition note. That is not very good. So there you go. The rest of
But it's lovely. It's
but
lovely.
it's not real difficult to hear because the bass is pal of mine and the tenor is they're going to the lead note pal of mine, and it's the melody has the melody. She has to know where it is, so it isn't difficult. So there is continuity in what you can hear. As Gene always says, if you can hear it. But if the lead has to find the note, dreams come true, pal of mine, the lead will know the melody. If she doesn't know the melody, we're in trouble. So,
Mm.
but again, that has. I'm not going to try and justify a cross relationship, but I don't think it's a problem.
Where is there a cross relationship? I'm trying to find it.
D. Yeah.
A G flat to G.
Oh, yeah, I see now. Yeah.
Pal of mine. Pal of mine.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a glaring thing, but I mean, maybe it's probably not. I didn't even notice a cross relationship, but it is.
Mhm. I'm only asking some of these questions because I want to understand it because
Yeah.
like Liz has said, I've had certain concepts kind of like hammered into my head, and I'm like, oh no, can't do that. Even though I love how it sounds, can't do that,
Yeah.
can't do that because of the rule,
Yeah.
like the in measure 59, I love the suspense there where you're on a major ninth there and then
Yeah.
you resolve it. But the hammering that I've had done to me I would never put a major ninth on the downbeat of a measure there like that.
Well, not for a contest song, I wouldn't either. But it's personal taste. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's also not. It's not in this. It's a tag. Things
Mhm.
are a little different in a tag. You take different chances and whatever in a tag. I've seen tags like that.
Yeah.
This is a yeah. I've heard a quartet do a ninth like that, and then I mean, and this
Hmm.
because it's perfectly acceptable. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely. Thank you.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I'll have to tell you this. Yes, it's acceptable, but as if you're applying for a scholarship or applying to, I wouldn't do it. After you've become certified, then you can do it.
Yes.
Because you will. Unfortunately, the people that evaluate you, they would ding you for that. Yeah.
For a ninth on a tag.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, it's not the strongest tag. I'm not saying it is.
Yeah.
It's just I was just trying to show
Oh
bring it
yeah.
and then bring it back down again, and I probably
I
could
think
have.
it's I think it's beautiful.
I do too.
I'm just saying the way the evaluators think. I
And
think if you tried that, you'd get dinged.
I'm not proud of it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying I wanted to just show a contrast in a
Oh
way
yeah.
that you could have build up to something and then bring it back down again, back to that musical arc, right?
Yeah.
I think Abby
You're
had
really good at that, Judy.
and
Yeah.
so did Liz. Had the musical arc, it needs to go up and come back down again
Hmm.
on a ballad. An uptune you might stay big all the way out, and you could stay big all the way out if you want to tune that too. But anyway, so much for that. That's just to give you ideas. And sorry
Lovely.
if they're not if there's something not right, why you can be sure and send me an email and say, by the way, Judy. I'm open. I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
No, I'm just saying be a little more careful in applying for
Yeah, no, I hear you.
this last thing. Yeah.
What are we gonna do with you guys now? So you got to take your get your things and send them on into international then? Then we don't ever get to see you again? Wow,
Oh.
that's sadness.
Yeah. So now you're supposed to choose your own song. A song of your choice and get the music, buy the sheet music. I don't know if they're even, we should have asked Kay that. Maybe I'll ask her. Do they need to put it through the song assessment tool before they even start arranging it? I mean, is that one of the things they have to do to make sure it's appropriate? I should ask her that. Let's see. Oh, it's early enough. I can,
Ask her and send that out to everybody.
yeah. I'll text her right now and ask that.
Song assessment tool for it, but
Yeah.
And
Lot of
we
these-
can do public domain, or we can do stuff that's not public domain, correct?
right, you don't have to have the copyright.
Any kind of song we find somewhere does.
Yeah, you only if you were gonna. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
for. Yeah, I never did a copyright for any of those things. It's just whatever you've got there. They're looking at it. It's internal use only. You know,
Okay.
if you want to use it later on, you have to get the copyright and that stuff. As far as I can tell, right, Jean?
Yes.
But we can song assessment tool.
Do they have to put, I'm trying to think how to word it, their
You have to use the song assessment.
song choice through
Great.
song
You guys have any anything you want to say or share or ask
assessment
other questions or anything?
assessment.
We let you go.
So is this the beginning of the 3-month date then?
Uh,
Submit it? We're not
yeah,
meeting it.
yeah, I'm
We're not
trying to
meeting
think how
it.
she said that. Yes, I would
She made it
imagine.
sound like she made it sound like we were still meeting again for something else first, but we've actually finished everything, haven't we?
We did finish everything, yeah. So yes, I guess it would be due
But 3 months from today.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, she said something about since that gets us into competition time, they
Oh,
might
true.
move it out a little bit further.
Yeah. So we will
We'll
we
find
will
out.
tell Kay that we're all finished and then see what she says about that date. Yeah. Yep.
Well, because she said you probably would finish February 5th or something,
Yeah.
but we wouldn't be if tonight was our final night.
Right.
If we have any further questions, can we please reach out and ask you ladies?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
If you are working on your final arrangement, you cannot send that to us and say, is measure 4 okay? You can't do that.
But can we send you a hypothetical, like say, given this situation, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
like specific notes. Oh, I'm on this note and that note, which is best to move
Yeah.
to or whatever. But I'm saying like, how do you, what's the best thought process to go through when you're making this kind of a choice or that
Yeah.
kind of choice?
Okay. Yeah, I would go ahead and ask. And then, if we read it and say, oh, sorry, we can't answer that for you, don't be offended. It's because we can't help you, But
Right.
yeah, I would go ahead and send the question anyway. Yeah.
So many of those
Okay.
things
Oh,
depend on the piece of music or the wherever you are that you're working on. We could say, well, always use the omit the root and use the fifth. on a ninth, but that might not always be the case depending on where it is in the chord. We might
Yeah.
say, such and such here, but that it depends on where it is. We might say, just like I had a thing where we moved, I moved down and it looked like, well, it's not any contrary motion. Well, except I had the wrong note, and then it was
Yeah.
contrary. But those things like that. So in a general hypothetic way, I don't think that's anything like, should I move this note, or, my notes above the, no, we didn't discuss that, but there's a couple places in there in your music where you see that the baritone went above the lead on one of those transition things. Several people did it, that you can hear that it's like, you know what, I'll put it on that little fix it page. I'll just do that and show you.
Oh.
Several people had it. And never mind.
I already sent the fix it page, but we could send another one.
Yeah, so everything's
So,
relative.
Elizabeth, go by your barbershop ear more and don't worry so much about the rules.
Okay.
Okay? You probably would be better off. Yeah.
All right, here's another question.
Uh-huh.
Say I want to voice a minor triad, but I want to put the bass and the lead on the same note. Can you put two voice parts on the same note within a minor triad?
Yeah. The exact same octave and everything, you mean?
Yes, like can you have the bass and the lead on a middle C, the
Mhm.
bari on an E flat, and the tenor on the G?
Sure, if you're going to move one
Say
of
you're
them,
going to peel them away.
you're going to peel. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You can do that. Okay.
Yeah. Especially if it leads up to that. And you had one of those instances, it looks like that da da da, and there's no place for the bass to go, either down here on that C or up here, and then you peel it away.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Okay.
Oh, this is sad. Parting is such sweet sorrow. I'm sure we'll hear from you again, and you'll hear from us again, I'm sure. Yeah. It's been a delight to work with all of you. It's been so much fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, the delight has been equally shared amongst all of us, and I've enjoyed interacting with all you ladies too, all of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have friends in Australia and New Zealand. And
Yes, isn't that
I can't believe
exciting?
it. I can't believe it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, best of luck as you choose your piece of music. Try to choose something that's really has lots of triads and dominant seventh chords already in the implied harmony, because that will help you score better on your evaluation. Yeah.
That's how we ring them. We'll
Yeah.
keep in touch with whatever you're doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Act one, we have reunion things.
Oh yeah, we should do that with this group. Yeah, that would be fun.
We haven't done it for a while yet, but we should get together, maybe, I don't know, once every 6 months or something like that. We'll just have a thing. We'll check in with everybody, see how they're all doing and stuff.
Yeah, what you doing? How are you? What's happening? Yeah, that would be fun.
I feel like it's so permanent. It's like
Wonderful.
in
It'd be
6
wonderful.
months, something like that. We can set something up and we can just get together and just chat a minute and talk about great successes and anything you have and whatever like that. So, okay.
Yeah, that would be great.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much,
All right.
ladies.
Thank you all so much. It's been wonderful. Thank you.
And best of luck to you. I know you'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jean and Judy. Thanks for your time and all your efforts.
Bye
Oh,
bye.
yes. Yeah.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Great,
Bye.
thank you. Be in touch.
And I even know Emily Moriarty. Oh my gosh.